All right. All right. It looks like we may be live already. I didn't actually think that this thing was going to instantly shove me live as soon as I connected up the streaming software. Okay, I'll play that game. That's fine. Um, Good evening. Sorry I'm a couple minutes late. It occurred to me when I set up this live stream for midnight, only a moment ago, that it's my wife and my anniversary. And she was downstairs. So I was like, I should probably go downstairs and tell her, happy anniversary. The nice thing to do, since it is now midnight here in the Eastern time zone. All right. Sorry about this. I just got through eating a granola bar. I didn't eat dinner tonight, so good times. Here's what's going to go on tonight. I really don't have a whole lot really going on per se, but I am, and thank you for the like, by the way, but I am going to kind of chit chat a little bit. We're going to talk, and at the same time, we're going to work on the website that I've been working on, which is just the SoundSpeeds website. I figure we do this in a live stream because I don't have a whole lot of wonderful website building knowledge anymore. So it used to be that I was pretty good. Oh, there we go. It used to be that I was pretty good at building websites and stuff. Not so much anymore. So I thought we would do this live. Don't know if that's actually repeating. It looks like it is on my little window at the bottom. Geez, I'm going to have to preview this thing on my phone real quick. Now, I started this website about a month ago, and Squarespace allows you to pick it up where you left off. And that's cool. I like that, it's something that I can at least hopefully pick up where I left off without missing out too much. But the one thing that I am not good at anymore is design. So I was just going to kind of leave it as a basic bare bones website and see how well it goes. Now, the reason I'm doing this on a live stream is because I'm welcoming thoughts and ideas. The way it's laid out right now, if you want to look at it, is the simple SoundSpeeds logo. If we go home for a second, I'll show you this. This is the generic. This is not going to stay that way. But if you go to the About section, I had actually written some stuff in here. I guess I forgot to hit save. I also have services, and we have a merch section, which takes it straight to my Teespring. So if you are wanting to see ads, you can actually go there and get a SoundSpeed shirt, which I don't mark up. I just mark up to the nearest dollar or nearest 25 cents if it's way low. And thank you for that like, by the way, Vico. Let's see. Then it talks about the YouTube channel. Go away. It talks about support. And this is something that we just named last week, the Sound Support podcast. And I'm going to change the logo just a little bit because this is actually the logo for the SoundSpeeds podcast. But we're going to change this ever so slightly. I've already changed the wording here. And once I create the actual thing, it's going to be even better. Now, what the Sound Support podcast is, if you haven't caught me the past few days for the live streams, what this is it's going to be a lot of like my email address. A lot of people send me questions and ask stuff, and then I'll get the same exact question a couple of days later sometimes, because people ask the same questions about, videos or in general. So what I'm doing with that is I'm going to be answering questions in a video format and putting it together as a podcast and uploading to the channel. So as soon as I get enough questions to do so, I will do it. Episode could be short with only one or two questions. It could be long if I get a whole bunch of them. And I'm going to be doing this on the main site, SoundSpeeds. I'm not going to be creating another website like I have the SoundSpeeds podcast, which is a completely separate thing that's a separate channel. But it was basically a bunch of different things. It was a bunch of whatever I was thinking, whatever I wanted to do with it. And I started with 6 segments. And by the time I got through the 10 that I had told myself I was going to do, I had gotten to the point where I was not really interested in doing all 6 segments anymore. I was only going to be doing 2 because those were the 2 most popular segments. Oh, thanks, Horse Taco. Appreciate it. $2 is definitely appreciated. Thank you so much. And highly appreciated. So this is not sponsored by Squarespace, actually. It says my trial is ended in 7 days. Now, I started it one night and then, like a complete goofball, didn't go back to it again until after my trial disappeared. And they sent me an email saying, would you like to extend your trial? I said, sure. And then I let that time expire because I didn't go back in. Well, I decided to try, since I couldn't get into it, I decided to try the link again. And it allowed me to extend it yet again. So even though it was like a 2-week-old link, it was like, okay, well, would you like to extend your trial? I was like, sure, I'll go ahead and extend my trial if it lets me. And it did. So that's where I am. Now, the SoundSpeeds podcast is something I've only done a few episodes of. And I don't even think that it's, if I were to go even in here and go to the SoundSpeeds podcast, where is that one? Down here. Oh man, I do have 101 subscribers right now. So let's go ahead and see if I could actually go into the studio and go ahead and register, since I've at least got it. Let's go ahead and register the name. What would that be? Under settings? Something like that. Okay. I don't even remember how to do this. Definitely not made for children. Defaults. Permissions, uploads, defaults. No, this isn't it. I don't remember. I'll do this later, I guess. Well, I guess I should go ahead and do it right here since I'm here. Definitely not a monetized channel. Analytics, no. Where would it be? It was where I could, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out later. I'm not worried about it right now. But for right now, what we are going to do is at least we're going to go in and build this and kind of change it around a little bit. If anybody has any thoughts or ideas for the development, here's the general layout I was looking at. It starts with the home button right here, and that's the same thing as home right there. And this, as if you missed me saying a second ago, this is going to change. This is the default Squarespace thing. When it goes to services, one of the things that you might not know is that when I started SoundSpeeds, I actually rent out gear. I do testing of things and do different side things also. So SoundSpeeds is not just a YouTube channel. It kind of started that way to build the brand recognition, but then it's going to ultimately become a company where I introduce products and things like that at some point. There's also the merch section that talks about the YouTube channel. This is pretty much done. Podcast, pretty much done. And then the support, which is going to change once I create the playlist for it in SoundSpeeds, because the sound support podcast is just going to be there. Now, I am going to be doing a separate video about this sometime this week and saying, if you want to send emails, then send it to me at the SoundSpeeds podcast or the Sound Support podcast email address, which I am going to actually use the URL soundspeeds.us. That is the website that I registered about a month or 2 ago, something like that. And I just haven't done anything yet with it. It goes straight to the SoundSpeeds YouTube channel. So that's at least there. Now, if you have any ideas, like I said, throw things out there. If there's any questions you want to ask, something like that, by all means. The only reason I'm doing this in a live stream is because there's a lot of creative people out there. Some people have some ideas that they might want to throw my way, or something that might look better than the way it currently is set up. But if not, then I'll just build this thing in quiet and amuse myself. Now, just so it's been said, if you're about to go to bed or something, because it is about 12:12 on the East Coast, I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow starting at 10 p.m. I'm going to be bringing in a female sound utility friend of mine named Rachel, and she's going to be doing, she's going to be talking about being a sound utility, and she's a lot of fun. She's a Southern girl, and she's going to be fun. She's quick-witted, and she'll fire back if I pester her a bit. So it'll be a lot of fun. It's working, Greg. Test message. It's coming in just fine. Alrighty. So I figured let's go ahead and channel videos. Let's refresh on this, and it defaulted to the podcast. So we're going to go over here, and let's go over here and create a playlist. That's going to at least give me the ability. New playlist, sound support podcast. We'll do that. It will be public, and that's at least a playlist that's going to be live. And I'll add a video to that later. Now, if I were to copy, where's the... It's not there, is it? If I would copy that URL, description. Okay, no description. I'll add sound support. Oops. Okay, there we go. I'm going to hit save on that, and there's no videos really in there just yet. Last message didn't go out. Sorry to hear that, Greg. It seems to be working now. So if you want to repeat what you said, that's cool. All right, so if I were to copy this, where are my playlists? Over here. Private videos? No. Live stream? No. There's really nothing personal in this. Now, the podcast needs to change. This is going to be the sound speeds. Oh, there's some of those that are still private, aren't there? Yeah. Sound speeds podcast excerpts. I'm just going to leave it sound speeds podcast. And as for, let's do a save on that, and we'll just call it the exact same thing. Sound speeds. Let's see here. Podcast. What does this say over here? Make sure you have a fruit punch and a pie section. Everyone will come if they think you have fruit punch and pie. Well, the closest thing I have to fruit punch is a fruit punch Zip Fizz. It's at least there. I don't know if I'm going to have it just yet because I don't need to spend all night up. Last time, when I did the live stream with Michael Wynn, that turned into adding Curtis Judd, and then Banjo for a couple minutes because he was out of his element. And then we added in Kevin Basic Filmmaker by the end. I took a Zip Fizz, 3 hours into the thing, and I was wired. When we finished the stream, and I believe it was about just after 3 a.m. my time, we continued to talk. Me and Kevin, I should say. Curtis bailed. But Kevin and I talked until 6 a.m. my time, and we were talking about all kinds of things, about YouTube, about best results in live streaming, and just just chilling out and laughing and telling stories and stuff. Probably should have kept on going with the stream because it was a lot of fun. But he was exhausted. And by the end, I was still wide awake. And he's like, I don't know how you're still awake. It's 3 a.m. I got to go. I got to be up at 7. And I'm like, still completely wired from the Zip Fizz. So I stayed up until probably about 7:40 a.m., just unable to go to sleep. Yeah, your floor and table were vibrating. Yes, they were. Hello, Andres. Good to see you again here tonight. I did hear, just so it's been said for anybody out there, and I know Andreas is now here, the first order of parts for making cables and the XLR dummies is coming in tomorrow. It's set. UPS has it set to arrive tomorrow. So that means tomorrow I'm probably not going to be able to get to it because it says by 9 p.m. and I have a live stream starting at 10. But that does mean that I should be able to start it the following day. So hopefully I'll be able to finish it before the week is out and get everybody's cables and dummies and stuff made. Probably going to work on it Wednesday in the evening and overnight, and then Thursday if I still need to. So hopefully I'll be able to ship out everything on Friday. I had to day fruit punch because the word without fruit was going through. Maybe due to a word filter. I don't know. You had to say fruit punch. Oh, probably because it edited the word punch. Gotcha. Okay. Well, anyway, let's look at this thing. Stories from Set, Sonic Testing Series, which is now gone. Okay. I should move this one down a little bit. It doesn't give me that as an option. What is the URL right there? Let's go ahead and copy that into Squarespace and see if I can change this out. This URL, edit, and paste. Hopefully, of course, I failed at this already. Completely failed. Hi there, Alejandro. I totally failed at this thing. I'm complete crazy. Let's go back over here to, this is the Sound Speeds podcast right there. If anyone knows how to tell me how to get into this thing, no. Sound Speeds podcast right there. All right. Oh, we gained another subscriber in the past few minutes. Let me see if I can actually go ahead and register that domain, that URL. How do I get into it without going into the classic mode, which is obviously no longer an option? Does anybody know? Comments, subtitles, all that stuff is based on the browser extension. Enjoy your BitDepth video. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It was one that I've been working on for a while and thought about doing as a video, but did not. But didn't actually do it. Which company are you using to build a website? Squarespace. I've already started it, but I haven't really gotten very far into it. Yes, excellent video. You want to hear something interesting about that video? I've thought about doing that one for a while. It's on my list of videos to do. I've actually been working on a different video, but it ended up being something I wasn't going to be able to get turned out today. So last night, I was looking at other options, other videos that I could bring up and bring something to at least release today on time. Last night, I had no idea what video I was going to be doing at 11 p.m. So I looked at my list. I said, what's something I could do and do well that I understand the content for, and it would be something I could piece together and show. And I looked at it and I said, I could do the BitDepth one. I shot it. I edited it. I didn't get the thing completely done and uploaded with everything done to it until about 5:30 a.m. And so I said, I'm going to go ahead and schedule it for 11 a.m. because my metrics typically show that is a better time to release videos. It ended up not doing nearly as well as some of my others have so far. But we will see what happens. Let's see if it's based off of, no, it's not an analytics thing, is it? How do I get into this? It used to be, let's try monetization, even though the channel isn't monetized. Tell me when I'm eligible. This channel will never be eligible. I can already tell you that because I don't do anything on it. Where is, geez, this is so loud in my ears. Let me turn this thing down. All right, now at least I can hear myself a little bit. Comments, subtitles. It's not going to be. There used to be a link that you could go to. Is it? No. Your channel? Let's try it and see if it's. There's YouTube Studio. It takes me back over there. What I'm looking for, if you're curious, is there's the thing that allows you to go into all your different settings. Your data in YouTube settings? Well, I mean, let's try that one. Hey, this looks familiar. Where is it? Notifications, no. Where is it? View advanced settings, maybe? No. No. That wasn't it. Playback and performance. Account advanced. Oh. No. That's not it. Custom URL. There we go. Claim it. SoundSpeeds Podcast. There we go. And change URL. Confirm choice. Cool. So we got it. We got Soundspeeds Podcast. Thank you so much. You told me the words I needed to know in order to do the thing. So I should be able to go to youtube.com/Soundspeeds Podcast, and it should come up. And booyah, there it is. Thing of beauty. Okay, so we're going to copy that and add that into the Squarespace. All right. We'll go here. We'll edit. See, that is what it should have been. Okay, so I'll go saving this, and this should be done now. Congrats on the URL. Thank you so much. Now everybody can unsubscribe to that other channel, which I'll probably only release a video for about every 2 years or whatever it is. Okay, let's see here. It was fun seeing your video, my live stream with Curtis, Michael, and Kevin. You know, it was so funny how that turned out. It was supposed to be just me and Michael cutting up. When Curtis popped into the thing, when Curtis popped up, he was just like, you know, he made a couple of questions, and I jokingly said, we should almost add you to the stream. And then he said, give me 5 minutes to set up. We're like, okay. So I went ahead and did. And Greg, I don't blame you at all for unsubscribing to that Soundspeeds Podcast thing. It's crazy. And then after we went ahead and added Curtis, Bandrew was in there. We might as well come on in, Bandrew. And then I sent a message to Kevin because Kevin's a character, and he would be a lot of fun in there too. And it took him. He was probably doing videos or something, but he popped in when he was done with all that stuff, and he joined us. It was a lot of fun. Okay, good. So I am with you guys here tonight. It is actually my anniversary. 16 years ago, I married my wife. So I had to delay about 2 minutes before I went down there, before I started the stream, because I was down there saying hello to her. She was downstairs. I usually in the evenings escape and come up here for a little bit after the 4-year-old goes to bed. My older 2 daughters are in the front playing video games, doing that kind of thing. And my wife just chills out, reads, watches something downstairs. So we just kind of, divide and conquer, do all of our things in the evening. But 16 years. Can you imagine a woman deciding to stay with me for 16 years? Glutton for punishment, I guess. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, that live stream. I'm going to be live streaming again tomorrow, and I'll give you details about that if you missed it coming in here in a second. Good evening, Alan. Hello, Midori. I had a was like hanging at my local bar. I don't know what that means. Greg, account disabled. Okay, he was telling me all this stuff. Congrats on the domain. Thank you so much. My domain name is actually soundspeeds.us. I didn't want to, about a year and a half ago, spend $2,100 with huge domains to get soundspeeds.com. And that is just not something I'm going to do. Just can't justify it. So I went ahead and just registered a separate one. And because we're in the U.S., it made sense. Okay, so that at least explains that. The live stream is great. Thanks. Dookie Weasley. Hey, Dookie Weezy. Hey, how's it going? Looking sexy. Not a chance. This is historic. Well, I've actually been live streaming quite a bit. I just don't set them to public. If you want to see the live streams, that is one of the very few benefits that my Patreons get if you go over $10, per video, which you can set a cap to it, so it's only $10, but still. I don't have very many benefits because I don't really use Patreon other than just to say, hey, if you want to support the channel, go for it. But it's one of the few benefits I give those that set themselves for 10. I do have 2 Patreons that do that level, and so they get to see my live streams if they want to, the archive of it. I don't know, may end up changing it sometime in the future, but I don't see that. I might just leave the most current one, active until... I might start doing that. I might just start with the most current live stream, leaving that one as public until I get another one. Who knows? We'll figure out something. There seems to be some interest in catching some of the live streams. So, Curtis's face when he was getting sleepy, that was funny. Curtis was a trooper because normally as he does his live streams, we were talking about this. He said you need to leave your audience, wanting more. And I'm terrible. I'm terrible at YouTube, man. I'm just a guy, and I just talk and enjoy what I do and have fun. But Curtis will be pretty disciplined about 1 hour live streams. So when I brought him on mine and talked his ear off, He was actually on the stream for 4 hours, 37 minutes. He was live streaming with me the other night, and Michael Wynn. So if you can imagine that, if you can just imagine if you're used to doing about a 1 hour live stream, and then I keep him up, not just late, but I keep him up extremely late, almost 5 hours. Poor Curtis Judd. I told him afterwards, I said, you're never going to ever do a stream with me again. He's like, no, I will. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, he was a lot of fun. Curtis was the major audio boy scout, everything within reach. Yeah, oh man, if you missed the stream, it was hilarious. We got into this thing where we were saying, Curtis, let's see what you have, because we would be talking about something and he would just reach over and grab it. We're like, how big is your desk? So we started throwing out random pieces of sound gear and he would just start grabbing it. He would have it all on his desk. And we named some obscure things. We're like, how do you just have this in arm's reach? It was amazing. So thank you very much, and the congrats. Happy anniversary. I want to hear the DPA. Not a chance, Dookie. Not tonight, at least. I had a few drinks. All right, well, that's good. Maybe you can tolerate me a bit. I mean, your live stream felt like being at my local bar, the way you're interacting. Yeah, and I tell you, I really like that. I really like that. I miss that kind of interaction, and it's a lot of fun. But I can't stream overly long if I do with a guest. Like tomorrow, I'll tell you a little bit about the stream tomorrow. That's going to be with a sound utility named Rachel. She's a Southern gal, and she's a lot of fun. She's feisty. If you push her, she doesn't take anything. If you dish it at her, she will fire back. She is not afraid of that. But she's very good at her job, and I tell you, she's a lot of fun. You're going to see tomorrow night. I'll be starting the stream at 10 p.m. Eastern time. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to make the thumbnail for tomorrow, and so that way you'll see. We'll do a placeholder for the live stream tomorrow, and I'll at least schedule it. It'll be a lot of fun. She's going to be a lot of fun, and she'll answer a lot of questions regarding being a sound utility. And we have a show that we worked on that's going to be airing on Stars in 5 days. Well, 5 days now because it's the 7th. And that is a show called P-Valley. It is a show that takes place in a Mississippi strip club. And I tell you, if you think it's a show just about strippers, the characters make it hilarious. It's got really good writing. The show is full of just athletes. And it was a lot of fun. It was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had. And I tell you, everybody in only a few months became a very tight family. It was such an amazing experience. And it was a lot of fun too. So there you go. That'll be on Sunday. You have been working in the field on movies or shows or still shut down. Sadly, I've been shut down. I've been unemployed, with the exception I've day played 4 days since the second week of January. So I've been unemployed now for almost 6 months. So yeah, not fun. But anyway, you had all of them for 4 hours, 35 minutes. That's crazy. No, I had Curtis for that long. Michael he joined me and we started at 10 p.m. and we went until Curtis joined us at 10:37. And Michael, I think, bailed. I think he got too tired and he ended up bailing at about 3.5, 4 hours in. And then Curtis stayed there. And then Kevin, Basic Filmmaker, joined in after a while. And I think the total time of that entire video, well, I actually have it right here. It was 5 hours, 18 minutes, and 56 seconds. That was last week on Thursday. When did I go live on that one? That one was July 3rd. So there you go. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. We were cutting up and just joking and telling stories and that kind of thing. Yeah, and Curtis definitely has a Mary Poppins carpet bag desk. You're definitely my favorite. Yours are definitely my favorite live streams. Well, thank you so much, Levi. I really appreciate it. Can't wait for tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Does the future look bleak for your industry? I will tell you this, Dookie. If you want to, I do go into it. Since I'm talking about the Sound Speeds podcast, I'm going to go ahead and mention that I did do an episode right here. And the most recent episode I did is called "The Future of Movies Post Coronavirus," and that's actually, I'll put the link over here because it's actually more of the future of the film industry, or movie theaters, I should say. So if you want to, you can watch that one at some point in time. And so you can go check that out. It's like a 52-minute long rant about all kinds of different aspects of it. But I do go into a lot of different things. Now, the way the industry has been working is we had to first kind of figure out safety-wise what was possible. As the state started opening back up, it was kind of determined by the unions. And this is the Directors Guild of America. This is all the different like Camera Union, Local 600, my union 479, the National Sound Union, all these different unions came together to create what they consider to be what would be recommendations for safety guidelines going into production when we open back up. And the Cinematographers Guild actually put out a pretty good recommendations list. But then after it was kind of agreed on and all of our unions kind of figured out everything, we submitted it to the studios. And this includes the Actors Guild's SAG-AFTRA as well. Now, once the studios got it, it was one of those things where they kind of looked at it and said, well, we need to figure out what we want to do. So each of the studios now are figuring out what they want to do and how they want to handle it. Paramount, Warner Brothers, all the different studios are coming up with their own guidelines on what they need to do. A lot of the stages, like Pinewood here is local here they have figured out what they want to do. But it's actually up to the studios, and not like studios like recording studios where they have like 14 or 15 sound stages or whatever. Like we have Blackhall Studios here in Georgia. We have Screen Gems. We have Pinewood. It's more along the lines of the big studios like Paramount, Warner Brothers, Sony, all the different studios out there that put on a lot of production. They have to figure out what they're going to be doing going forward. Are they going to require masks and gloves? Are they going to require limited crew on set, whatever the case may be? They're going to be doing that. It says hazmat suits for the behind-the-scenes team members during filming. No. But, they could do all kinds of things. I don't know. Does anybody have the unlisted link to the Hangout with Michael and Curtis's stream? I don't know. I will tell you this. If you still have the link to the stream the other day, it ended up, for whatever reason, only archiving 2 hours of it. I don't know why. So I actually had to go back, even though it says it's the full 5 hours, 19 minutes. It doesn't have all 5 hours, 19 minutes. It caps at 2 hours. So luckily I was able to download the entire thing because it allowed me to download it to my computer and then re-upload it. So I've done that, and it is sitting right here in a private. You see, it's completely privated right there. Oh, that's actually the live stream. When I re-uploaded it, it is unlisted. So there you go. If you missed Daniel, though, the live streams that I do, the archives are a privilege a benefit, I should say, to people that are a Patreon donator. I don't do a whole lot of, live streams, but the ones I've been doing more and more of them lately just because they've been a lot of fun. And so that's at least one of the few benefits I have for the Patreon viewers that are at least $10 a month. But I'm thinking about allowing the live streams that I do. I'm thinking about letting the most current one stay public until I do another one. That way, at least if you missed it, you'd be able to catch it. So this stream, I'm probably going to keep on unlisted at the end of the night. But tomorrow night's stream with Rachel, I'll probably keep that one live. Now, Rachel, if you miss me say it, I'm going to keep on saying this because we're back in now. Rachel is a sound utility. I've worked with her on, was it only one show full time? I did P-Valley with her, which premieres this Sunday on Starz. And she's a lot of fun. She's a Southern girl, feisty, intelligent, funny. Just, you're going to have fun with her. Anyway, so I like that I keep one public until the next one. Of course you do. A lot of people like the idea of just seeing that. But if you want to see the archive, then perhaps. Understood. For some reason, I didn't get a notice for that live stream. but I've gotten most of the other ones you've been doing. Yeah. Sorry about that. Monster Rating Gaming, how's it going? Good to see you out here tonight. Thanks for joining. Let me look real quick and see how we're doing on our... Oh, okay, 15 people. I was going to say, we couldn't just sit there and look at that. All right. Let's actually build this website since we've talked about that, since I don't really see a whole lot of questions or anything. Oh, yeah, sound speeds. I moved into my new apartment, found out the roof is leaking into the closet that I was going to be using as a vocal booth. So it's going to be a while before I get the booth set up. It's a 3x6 closet. Wow. Yes, I know, Dervish. I know who you are. Wow. Good thing you didn't put a whole lot of gear in there. That would suck to have a bunch of water leaking in there on your microphone and everything. Now, if it's a 3x6, you could, if you have an issue with noise, any sound coming in the walls, that's a big enough. Well, it's not very big. It's not very deep, is it? I was going to say you could almost reinforce it a bit with some... No, that would take up too much room. I was going to say sheetrock, even thin bricks going vertical. But a 3x6 closet, you might want to just do the foam. Hopefully it's pretty quiet in there. I know that when I close this in, it's about 3.5 feet, and it doesn't give a whole lot of elbow room. So it's kind of interesting. Anyway, let's go ahead and build this website here. So any ideas you want to throw out? The general layout here is we got our home section right over here. And this is going to be for soundspeeds.us once it's up. This is generic garbage here that comes with Squarespace. The About section did have stuff in there, but it's not there anymore. Services, it's going to go into a lot of the things I do on the side, which I do have. If you're interested in the services, I probably should go ahead and if I go to my channel and then go to About, I'll probably just copy this at least to begin with, because that would be kind of cool just to take that and throw that in there. I might do that just for now. Alrighty, that would be under services. So let's do an edit, add page content. All these things, all these templates drive me crazy. I don't want mountains. I don't want all this stuff. I don't need all that. Create a list? No. Gallery? No. Images? No. Just quote? No. You know, that could probably work. Just something simple like that. It's kind of lame though, isn't it? I don't know. We can always start with it and we'll see what happens. All right, make it stand out. What does it say? I'm going to use the audio mute panels that you used and see how that deadens the space. Other than that, I have a 6x6 closet that I can use. Ooh, a 6x6 closet. That would give you an opportunity if there's a lot of noise in there. You could actually fully reinforce that if you wanted to, because that would give you a bigger space than Booth Junkie has. I think his is like 4.5x5 or 4x4, something like that. Just pop on really high def, cute picture of a mic. No, I'm not going to do that. Let's see, make it stand out. You know what? Let's make it not stand out. Let's just do this. Underwhelming. Still pretty underwhelming, but we'll at least go with it. By day, I'm a professional boom operator working in the motion picture industry. That's almost be under the About. Let's see. Dang it. It's 6x6 though. It's handmade booth. Oh, good. Well, that's good at least. That'll be helpful. You can actually make it into whatever you want. By day, I'm a professional boom operator working in the motion picture industry. At any other time, I'm a sound geek with a passion for teaching my craft. There are many aspects of sound that aren't taught anywhere online because many professional tricks are kept hush hush amongst pros. This is where this channel is unique. Well, this is totally not what should be here. This should be under the About section. Discard changes, sure, and then let's go over here to About, and well, that's okay. So it's all empty. let's go ahead and edit this one, and then we'll do the little quote thing again there. So we'll do that and then change this up. Booyah. Oh, that looks terrible. Let's go over here, change this to paragraph font 2. That's too small. Paragraph 3 is too small. Let's go paragraph 1. Better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, luckily my apartment is quiet, so I can treat the 3x6 or the 6x6. I think, honestly, you would appreciate the 6x6 better because it will give you an opportunity to make more space where you can spread out. You don't have to have as much right next to you and with a weird size, like you could have plenty of depth that you point your face towards, or you could have a lot out to the side. I would say go for the square if unless you really need it for clothes or something, because that's a big space. You could easily have a breathing room. There's ventilation if you do it that big. You don't have to have everything right on top of you because 3x3 is not that deep. It's about as big as this. This is a 3.5 wide. This is a 3.5 square, so it doesn't give you a whole lot of elbow room. And you can see that in some of the videos where I try to back off of the microphone or something like that. I end up backing against a wall, and then I'm like, well, this thing is still right there in front of my face. If anything, I'm going to have to deal with the windows being transparent. Maybe get a few Indal window inserts. I don't know those. I missed out on a 4x4 whisper room with the caster option and cooling for $900 Canadian. Ooh. It sold in less than a day and it was by a local voice-over company that's downsizing. Ooh, that would have been a good deal. My wife retired from the Air Force and we decided to stay here in Georgia. I was wondering about that. And I'm wanting materials to turn into a full studio, and I'm turning my space room into a full filming space. That is awesome, Dervish. Well, I know you were talking about leaving, and you'd been acquiring some gear, and you were going to be locating. You wanted to learn the lowdown about shock mounts or shotgun microphones, and never did hear from you. So I figured life just got in the way, like it normally does. But, still you can reach out to me, and if nothing else, we can at least do a video call, and I can show you some stuff. If you want, we can meet up at some point in time. I don't know if the whole coronavirus thing is a concern. I do know that if I have it, I'm most likely asymptomatic, so I would not know it. I would be spreading it though. And the reason I would assume that is because I've been exposed to it and have not gotten it myself. So, I don't know if I've not really gone a whole lot, but still, just keep that in mind. If nothing else, at least a video chat, because we haven't talked in a long time. But anyway, there you go. So that whisper room, though, Daniel, would have been a really awesome thing for you to be able to get your hands on, wouldn't it? I mean, it would have been extremely awesome. But, sometimes those things go really fast. And I know that there's been a couple of times in the past that I've wanted to jump on something like that. But by the time I've gotten gears in motion, it's had an issue. They had a new shot for it. The new shot for it. Sorry, I don't understand what that means. Have you thought about having an antibody test? I mean, I could, but I'm crazy. What can I say? No, I haven't. I could. I don't show any symptoms, though, and I don't really go out anywhere right now. If I were starting to go out and really do anything, then probably would. I'd probably need to get something just to double check. But, I don't know. I know our mayor here in Atlanta recently, she just got coronavirus today. Or at least she announced it today or yesterday now because it's the 7th. But that's a very interesting thing that she's been in public and talking about the riots and the different things going on. And then suddenly, and I don't recall, but I could be mistaken. I don't recall her wearing a mask, but who knows? Who knows? There's differences of opinion on the mask. I'm gonna stay completely neutral on it, at least on the stream, because I don't know what people's different thoughts are on it. But there you go. What is your take on quad conductor XLR cables? Good question. I love Star Quad cable. Love it. The cables I'm making right now and offering. So if you haven't seen the the cables that I'm offering to make people right now, it is right there. It is provided this thing is actually linking correctly. I'm doing the shortcut. We'll see if it is. But I'm actually making cables right now. I use Star Quad cable. The reason why is because you understand XLR and the basic principle behind those, where at least you're able to, where a Star Quad cable, the whole purpose behind that is an XLR has a positive phase and a negative phase. And if you get noise on the cable, then when you combine the two of them and you flip the phase of one, it will reduce some of the background noise and cut out that. So the whole idea behind a Star Quad cable is that you have 4 cables like this, and obviously the graphic didn't come up, but you have 4 cables like this with filler on the insides and around it, and then wrapped around with shielding. And by doing it this way in this configuration, you have 2 white here and 2 blue here, but it could be any color combination. But what you do is you combine those 2 and these 2 so that way, if RF hits one of those cables as it spirals around on the inside, if it hits one of those cables, then it will not be hitting the other. So when the 2 of them combine and the signal comes back together, then the idea is that noise and stuff would be reduced by half. So that's the general idea behind a Star Quad cable. I absolutely love them. I've used them on my booms specifically, and every single cable I've made in years. I don't think I've gone back to regular cable. I can get good cable. I know exactly the one I like, which is the Canary L6E, no, 4E6S. 4E6S. LE4E6S, which is a wonderful thing. Just like a Twisted Pair Ethernet, kind of. It wraps around in much the same kind of way, but a Twisted Pair Ethernet doesn't have shielding on the outside. It's an unshielded cable. So it spirals around, but the way that the Star Quad does is it has filler in the top, bottom, left, right, and center, and it has different wrappings of paper around the outside, and then it has shielding, then it has the rubber on the outside. So there's different levels of protection that you have against things like RF and noise, that kind of thing. So let's read this. By day, I'm a professional boom operator working in the motion picture industry. By day, I'm a professional boom operator working in the motion picture industry. Any other time. Oh, that's not good. Any other time? Let's see. Any other time, I'm a sound geek with a passion for teaching my craft. That's better. That was a run-on. There are many aspects of sound that aren't taught anywhere online because many professional tricks are kept hush-hush amongst pros. This is where this channel is unique. Okay, so if this is bout, then it needs to be... This doesn't really fit the about section either. I'll at least hit save on this, and let me go over to the YouTube section real quick. Okay, then I'll just change the whole about section here because I don't like that. It's just, it doesn't talk about. I mean, it's not doing what it's supposed to. I have Mogami quad cable and a blue mic quad. Yeah. So that's good. Mogami makes great stuff. They're usually considered to be the tip-top premium kind. It's usually because of the shielding. But I'll tell you, I use the Canary L4E6S, and I have never had an issue. And I have gotten very particular with my cable creation over the course of time. And I really like the way that I've kind of figured out the ways that I want to do things. So it makes me very, very happy. Okay, so if I'm looking at this and I want to change this into an about section, what I do need about. Any other time I'm a sound geek with a passion for teaching my craft. Sound Speeds began as a YouTube channel. Oh, let's not spell it correctly. As a YouTube channel in May 2017, dedicated to teaching. What did this say? I like the wording of it. Dedicated to teaching. There we go. Teaching professional tricks. Soundspeeds began as a YouTube channel in May. My contacts are drying out. In a YouTube channel in May 2017, dedicated to teaching professional tricks, professional audio tricks, man, I need help wording this. Soundspeeds began as a YouTube channel in May 2017, dedicated to teaching professional audio tricks, teaching professional audio tricks that are usually kept hush-hush amongst pros. Okay. There we go. Channel. Okay. Began as a YouTube channel in May 2017, dedicated to teaching professional audio tricks that are usually kept hush-hush around amongst professionals. Over time, Soundspeeds grew to more than just a YouTube channel. A brand associated with pro audio in general. Sorry, this is the most entertaining. It's wait a minute. This may be teaching professional audio tricks that are kept as insider knowledge amongst professionals. That are kept. Let me see. I tell you, the studio, I am totally bad at this kind of thing. This is the reason why I don't script out most of my videos, because I find myself meticulously changing words over and over and over again, and it just drives me crazy. So let's see. Dedicated to teaching professional audio tricks that are usually kept hush-hush amongst pros. Dedicated to teaching professional audio tricks that are kept as insider knowledge amongst professionals. Yeah, let's run with that. We're going to run with that one. So good one there, Greg. Soundspeeds began as a YouTube channel in May 2017, dedicated to teaching professional audio tricks that are kept as insider knowledge. Usually kept. Let's change this up just a little bit. Usually kept as insider knowledge amongst professionals. Haha. Usually kept as. I think you just said what I was looking at. What I just changed it to. Over time, Soundspeeds grew to more than just a YouTube channel, a brand associated with pro audio in general. Residents. Let's see here. Based out of Atlanta. Let's just totally spell this thing wrong. Based out of Atlanta, Georgia, Soundspeeds offers various services from equipment testing and rental to what else do we do? Well, we definitely teach. To seminars, guest speaking, seminars and guest speaking, seminars and guest speaking, speakers speaking. to seminars and guest speaking. For more information, email us at, which is funny because us is me. Email us at, but that's kind of the lingo, right? And I'm going to have to change this. This is, I'm kind of getting over the whole using the Yahoo thing. But it's at least going to stay there for now. And let's turn that into a hyperlink. Maybe that was, garbage. Where is it? Is that a link? No, that's not. No. Where are you? Where are you? Are you a hyperlink? There's a link. Email. Email 2 would be soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Subject. Interested in, what should it be? Interested in the service? Crap. I forgot which tab I'm doing here. This is why I suck at doing this stuff. Oh man, this should be the services tab, shouldn't it? Man, I totally suck at this. I used to hand code websites and create the HTML by, knowing the HTML. And I don't remember at what point I stopped doing that. But I definitely did because it got tedious having to change a little letter to do something. You should refer them to the services tab. No. Entertaining by itself, watching me scatterbrain. See, this is not my expertise. This is not my area of expertise at all. I can blab on the YouTube channel. I can blab right here talking to you guys. But as for actually creating something, no, I suck. Why is it giving options for a body? That's so weird to me. Interested in garbage. Let's just do this. Whatever. Save. I'm going to change mail to, okay, fine, whatever. It's done. Over time, SoundSpeeds became, this is the about section. Well, I'll just leave this. This is kind of like the about, this is for more information, email soundspeeds@yahoo.com. So now we'll go over, well, let's just do that. We'll do that because this is kind of all talking about, isn't it? A brand associated with, let's not do pro audio in general. A brand, let's do production audio in general. With production audio. Yeah. We'll do that. Okay, so let's see here. Back in GeoCities. Oh, God, GeoCities. I tell you, I remember making a GeoCities website. I think it was 1996 or something, whenever they launched. I remember looking at it and getting, what was it, like geocities.com / whatever my city was called. And I think I was like 1131 was the number that I was assigned. And I remember going crazy, building all kinds of stuff, and then I forgot the city name. And after that, I couldn't find the website anymore. And as for the login information, I couldn't remember what I used for the password because I remember one of those things where I was working for a company at the time that wanted me to change passwords. No, I wasn't working for them yet. Maybe it was just that I got through getting some email addresses, and I kept forgetting my password. Anyway, you don't have to complete the subject line. Yeah, I don't have to. You're just putting yourself on high standard, which is good, but sometimes just accept it may not be perfect. Good thing you can change it afterwards if necessary. About Alan, name, last name of your choice. A professional boom operator in the film industry started SoundSpeeds YouTube channel. The channel was created to American Liberty. I'm just going to let you write this thing. Just watch my history of SoundSpeeds video. I'll just let you do this. That way I can just blab about, sound stuff. 'Cause y'all are so much better at this than I am. Okay, so by day I'm a boom operator working. I'm not going to read this again. Y'all have read this enough. But this has got to change. Oh, I got an idea here. Let's change the format. Let's change all of this garbage. Remove. Okay? We'll do image. And I just want to have like words next to an image. No, I'll just put an image. Let's just do an image. That'd be fine. I'll just put in big, huge image editor. No. File name. What is that? Go away. How do I? No. No. I don't want to edit your picture. Why would you give me this? Of course you defaulted back. Edit. Okay, go away. What are you doing? Come on. This is just going to add a section, isn't it? Home and home. Okay, there we are. Let's how do I delete this crazy thing? Change the template. Squarespace, you're failing me here. Go away. No, don't watch your video demo. Maybe I'll just do that. Make it stand. Let's see. No. We're not going to do that. Actually, you know what? Let me see. I would have to find it off stream because right now I'm broadcasting this entire screen right now. But there was a screen. There was a picture of me where like my arms were folded and the whole, well, it's the old background. I don't know. I could maybe find something. But what I was thinking about here is images. Let's look at this. Did you just change this out? Now, how do I delete this section? This is garbage. How do I delete a section? Section right there. Delete. Remove. Give me the option to delete this as well. No. Take care, Dervish. Good to have you out here, man. Painting? You're painting at 1 a.m.? Picture of Alan dressed in all black with a boom on the side. See, I could do that. I was just thinking about throwing the SoundSpeeds logo there. Just the big, huge SoundSpeeds S's. Do you actually like the idea of a picture better? Because if you do, I'll go just full screen on my face here while I search for the picture, and then I'll look for it. Because I can't broadcast what I have, listed. Oops, right there. No, that wouldn't be it. But let me see. Why is it? Let's just switch to this for a second. I'm going to go hunting for a couple of pictures, and we're going to see what we can find. There should be some stuff under. I have a sound folder dedicated to whenever I teach stuff. So it's full screen. Yeah, I'm going to go full screen and search. And the reason why is because there's a lot of different things that I could put in there. Boom. When was the last time I did my boom class? I did right there. Media for the class. You know what? I should take, because y'all are here in the live stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these and copy these to a separate folder just because these are kind of fun. Well, I could show this archive. This is stuff I use for education. All right, let's have fun. We're going to do that. I'm going to go full screen with this, and I'm going to just show you some cool pictures. I use a lot of these in my sound education stuff. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so let's go back over to here. I don't know why my keyboard shortcuts are not going to happen. Positions most difficult to staff. Believe it or not, sound is one of the more difficult ones. I thought this was pretty cool. Why does this guy get a cape? Because he's a boom op. That's boring. That's me when... Funny story. I was actually... this was taken on a set. They were supposed to turn on the air conditioner. This is a heaven sequence on the television show Drop Dead David. It was supposed to be completely white. And it was. And they were going to be having early, like, complete air conditioner, blasting so that way you could see your breath. And it was supposed to be like 40 degrees on set that morning. But when they left the air conditioner on, nobody told maintenance not to turn it back off. So they turned it off at 1 a.m. when they came in to do their rounds. And so at 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. when people opened up the studio, they were like, what is going on? Why is it so hot? Because it was supposed to be 40 degrees and it was summer, so it was closer to 80. And they were like, no. There was your heaven sequence. I was also told, I always wear black on set, but I was told that day, wear white. I'm like, wear white? Really? No. And so I just wore my typical stuff. I said, I'll go along on the pole. That's funny. This is some of the different things. This is me on a show, completely head to toe, keeping myself nice and warm. And then, of course, you see a girl in the background who's wearing like hardly anything. That would obviously be a PA. But it's really funny because I'm layered up, going to stay nice and warm. Oh, that was a picture of my boom caddy on the movie Cell. Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack used to hang out underneath it. That's me when I was first working on my sun mode for, which was shorts at the time. I now wear leggings and stuff if I do this. But then my head was pretty much covered the entire way. No. This was, I think, my first rain protection thing. I got this one because it was quiet. But the funny thing is, it wasn't that effective. And I ended up deciding, you know what, forget this, because you can see that I'm underneath an umbrella up there. And just because my suit is quiet, I'm not necessarily closest to the actors. So everybody else around is going to have their regular tarps and stuff like that anyway. So might as well just have, the more effective rain gear. There's my sun mode, my rain protection mode now. Wear a hat with the entire rain thing. There's a Rain Man there. So I have a different setup slightly. And actually, I have waterproof neoprene gloves now. That was a joke. That's a joke. These are all education-related things. This is you see these walls are completely glass. This is stealth mode, so that way you don't see me in the glass. I've had to go into complete blackout mode. If you notice that this is blacked out back here in the back behind me, that's because the cameras were looking this way off to the side. And the camera walked right over here and then walked in, and so you were not supposed to be able to see any of the crew. I went complete blackout mode, head to toe, you could not see anything. And when I did that, it was kind of cool because they were expecting to see me, but they didn't see me, and the DP actually got mad because he saw the camera operator didn't see me. This is the way I look into stealth mode when I'm against a black background. You just see a microphone coming out. You do not see me. Education, blah, 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 blah. I actually made this. So if you ever see this online, I made this a few years ago. One of these, what society thinks I do, what gaffers thinks I do, block light, what DP thinks I do, make, shadow puppets, what first AD think I do, cry, whine about everything. What my wife seems to think I do is just sit around and looking at pretty girls all day. What I really do is I dodge laser beams constantly all day long. No. Let me just get through this and see if there's any interesting things. This is a room. We were shooting. This is for Kill the Messenger. There's Jeremy Renner right there. This is a jail. This is the Douglasville County Jail. We put the antennas in here, and we put carpets all over the place. This is being used as diffusion back there, but you can see that all these are stands. I put this in the corner. These are all furniture moving blankets, all up in the back there to completely take out some of the reflection. It knocked down the reflection of all the concrete floor and ceiling quite a bit. It was pretty awesome. Oh yeah. Sometimes having to go into very awkward situations. My front arm is actually over a light. And I'm underneath this light there. So there's a fun situation. Had to be in. Had to actually boom this scene from outside. Camera in the door and a camera over here. And I was having to boom people in the foreground. This is where I just had to point down a hall over the top of something. No. This is some of the crazy situations. This was the only angle I could come in to boom. And this is all the lights and stuff. Looking back at camera, all these kind of crazy setups you have. Look at this lighting setup. Pretty awesome. Had to boom somebody that I could not see amongst a bunch of balloons one time. So yeah, a lot of challenges. This was a virtual set that we did one day, which was kind of cool. We had some of the cars on the street, but we had a camera set up, and then live it was scanning the green screen in the background, making a New York cityscape. Kind of cool. Oh yeah, this was a drop that we had on Walking Dead one day. They said, we're going to drop off the gator, like we were on a little thing like that. They said, we're just going to throw you down there, and it was like 4 inches of deep water. I did not have good rain protection on my shoes just yet. This was our set all through here. So all this rainy stuff. So if you can imagine dropping there, getting your feet wet first thing in the morning, which is the reason why about a month ago I did the video that's called how to keep your feet wet or keep your feet dry on set. That was the reason why. Oh, here's a good picture. This was, I had to bring out a 23-foot boom in order to get this. Looking into reflections, you couldn't see, the cameras couldn't see themselves. A black car goes in front over here, crosses the actors, and I had to step up and over and throw the boom out. That was actually the exact setup that I hurt my right shoulder on. And to this day, it still bothers me. There's me. I do my own stunts, and I used to always add tape to make a boom, because I'm sure you've seen that logo before. Oh, here's a little bit of fun information for you. I was working on a TV show called HR, Alicia Silverstone. It was cold out, and the camera was on a long lens, like a 700 mil lens or something like that, way down at the end of the sidewalk. And what she was doing is she was starting and walking down there. You can see how cold she is. She's just kind of shivering because they took off the warming blankets, and she's tight-fisted right now trying to stay warm. The funny thing is, I was yelling sound speeds when we rolled, and the camera was way down the way. Since the camera was so far away, I yelled sound speeds to them, but we had paparazzi that took this for the dailymail.co.uk, and so they took it at the exact moment right here that I'm yelling. And so I woke up that morning to a bunch of messages from family in the overseas. And they were saying, why were you yelling in Alicia Silverstone's ear? Why were you yelling at her? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And then they sent me the link to this. So I quickly pulled it down on my phone. But, as if I was actually yelling at her. I ended up in this paparazzi picture yelling sound speeds, and you can see her, But anyway, so that was me, showing up in a paparazzi shot. That was kind of fun. Here you go. This was fun. Kevin Kline on a movie I did where the DP was set on the edge of a bed. Kevin was in the bed, and he's following Dakota Fanning and pans over and sees a shot in the mirror of Kevin, but is barely missing himself. Well, this is the DP. On day one of that movie, the DP accidentally dropped his Comtech, his headphones there, and everything into a swimming pool. And so when it came down to this setup, there was no place for me to boom. He said, I kind of need to be here for the shot, and there's really no other place to be. And because Kevin was right behind him and the camera was really snug to him, there was only a gap like this, and there was no place else to be. And because he sees everything else either by shadow or by reflection. So he said, I don't really know what to do. I don't really know what to do. If you can think of a place to put a plant. I said, are you going to stand up? He said, no. I said, okay. And I put a Senken Cub 1 on the DP's back right there. And I said, don't stand up. And Kevin was actually pretty happy by it. So he just kind of leaned in and did this right before we rolled. That's the plant that got sound for him in that setup for the movie. These are some of the rigs I've made. No. There you go. Sometimes having to play up on a ladder. Had to be behind a bounce. Up on another ladder. Booming some girls up on the top of the thing for a set. Nope. Oh, this was a fun situation. A DP that was completely lost his mind. This is the end of it. Um, for whatever reason, you know, when you light things and you want it to look realistic, for some reason, this DP decided in his infinite wisdom to have it a light up inside the fireplace. And this was just a regular old house. So you can see the lights are so strong that it's actually casting a shadow from this metal grid in front outwards from the light that's in the top there. Completely ridiculous lighting, but that's something that he did. So there you go. Oh, we're back in this mode. Let's not do that. So we'll figure out a picture and we'll add something in later. But for right now, edit site header. No, not there. I don't think that's it. Okay. Back to the thing. Yeah, 23 feet, that's a long boom. It was a long boom. That was pretty heavy too, because it was a Neumann KMR 82i inside of a Zeppelin with a dead cat on top of it, extended out 23 feet. Have you done any other shows for Stars? No, that was the only one. The one that's premiering in 5 days, which I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a fun one. It may not be the, it may not be something that makes it really, really huge, but it was a lot of fun to work on. And I would go back and do another season of it in a heartbeat. And it was great. Oh, let's see. How do we add a section here? Add a picture. And delete this. Delete. Where are you? Make it stand out. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Home. Let's see if there's anything else. No, there's not. Discard. Discard. Is there a layout here? Social image? No. When as soon as I start doing the stream again, my nose starts itching like crazy. I don't know why. It's right up in here, the top part of it. I did get a humidifier. It's been running for 2 days straight now. I turned it off when I started the stream, but geez. I was hoping you would say Black Sails, the sound on Black Sails was amazing. Oh. Yep, no. Nope, sorry. I don't think... No. Published homepage. This is what it would look like, but I don't need... No, why? Square, you're driving me crazy. Squarespace, you're driving me crazy. I may just have to replace the home screen with something else. Do a completely separate page. What is this one? Oh, that's the old one. I can delete this. Delete that. Yeah, we'll delete that. And then what I'll do is we'll add a page. Let's do a blank page. We'll call this home. Actually, I'm going to call it SS Home right now. SS Home. I'll change that later. Sure, enable page, save. We'll figure this out. And we're now going to set this as the home page. Confirm. Set that as the home page. Close. Move this up there. Take this and rotate you out. Nope, go away. You are now dead. Well, let me just make sure there's nothing I need to copy from that. SS Home. Okay, good. So what we'll do is we'll delete this one altogether. That is called Home. Enable page. No. Disable and delete. Booyah. Okay, it's gone now. And this is going to now become Home, Home, Home. Enable page. You should be enabled because you're the home page. Good. Look at that. We defeated it. Okay, cool. Oops, not that, not that, not that. All right, so the home page. You were talking about just adding something. Let's hit edit, and I'm at least going to, oh no, one of these again. Actually, I do have an image that I can maybe add. Let me look on my phone for a second. There was a pretty cool, I don't know if I could, because I don't remember what's in the background. Wait a minute. No, it'd be in the 2019 folder. There was... Oh, I need to shoot that video. There's a... Wait a second. This might be kind of fun. I would need to crop that. No, that's not going to be a good one for sound speeds. Because it's not done right. It was done for fun. It wasn't done correctly. Hey now, there's a good one. Okay. I'm going to email this to myself, and then we'll use this one. Sound speeds at Yahoo and home pick. Okay. So what I'll end up doing real quick while I change this over, cam only, and I'm going to open up the email that was in. Sorry, I'm not being overly entertaining right now. Hopefully that picture will come in soon, and I will be able to pull that. Load. In the meantime, if anybody has any questions or anything in general that you would like to ask or go over anything at all, feel free to ask. We have 14 people in chat right now listening to me blab and just talk in general. For some reason, you're all here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's kind of fun. Okay, why are you not coming in? I know the picture sent. I don't want to resend it. Okay, let's see here. Sound speed. Hey, I'm online at the same time as you again. Catch one of your live streams, even though we're a million time zones apart. Yep. Getting tonight my first Smart Slate, an old Denicky TS2. Those are still very, very good. I really appreciate those. I really do like those TSC2s or TS2s. You're entertaining enough. Great. What shows for Netflix did you boom for again? I did 2 shows. I did a movie called The Devil All the Time, which is going to come out soon. And then I did a television show called Stranger Things. And both of those 2 things, I did season 2 of Stranger Things. I didn't do 1 or 3 or 4. Alan, did you catch... I didn't catch the cables you were talking about that you use with no problem in response to the Mogami cables. Here is something that I'm currently selling these right now, Aaron. So if you do, I'm sorry, not Aaron. I was looking at Aaron, an email from someone named Aaron. Midori Productions. This is I'm actually selling these right now. 150 on dummy load, so you can do EIN measurements and stuff on your own. And then I'm selling 10-foot custom-made XLRs my way, which I'm very particular about the cables that I make. And so I'm actually making them right now because I have nothing else to do during the day. So I'm only going to be offering these until this upcoming Sunday. So after Sunday, you can maybe email me and I'll make you something custom, but it's not really something that I'm gonna go private on that video after Sunday because I don't really have an interest in keeping that video up forever. Alan, I didn't catch the cables you were talking about. Wait a minute, that was already. What is this? I-64S. What? Greg? Oh, the cable I was talking about that I use. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll catch up here in a second. I use the Canary L4E6S cable. It's a full thick star quad. There you go. It's the L4E6S. And that's the cable that I use by Canary. This picture, this thing still hasn't loaded up the picture. All right, I'm going to do what I always say don't do, and I'm going to resend it. That's the best way to make sure that it sends. What's better than something sending once, something sending twice? Oops, let's see. Is that it? It's a good shot. Oh, maybe I copied it. Maybe I didn't send it. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say send again. Oh, that's why. The Wi-Fi is down. Good thing I'm on the power line adapter right now. Otherwise, the stream would have dropped. I mean, for all I know, it could be dropping right now. Who knows? Okay. Let me actually, I just took my phone off the Wi-Fi. So, home website pick. So we'll see how long it takes for this thing to load up, to pop up now. In the meantime, let me answer a couple other questions here. The model number of the Star Quad cables. There you go. I've already answered that. ZipFizz time. ZipFizz time. I said at the beginning of the stream when I was on the stream with Michael Wynn, Curtis Judd, Kevin Basic Filmmaker, and Banju the other night, I made the mistake of having a ZipFizz at 3 a.m. That was about the time. It was shortly after 3 a.m. that Curtis bailed on the stream. Michael had already left by that point, and it was just me and Kevin, Basic Filmmaker. I hit cancel on the stream, and we were no longer streaming, but we were in the rehearsal room or whatever they call it, the waiting room. And he and I just talked until like 6 a.m. my time. Then he was like, "I got to go to sleep. I can't stay up all night. I don't know how you're doing this." I'm like powered by ZipFizz at that point. And so at that point, I was like, "Okay, well, I was still going to be awake." And I knew I was. So I was up until about, I think it was 6:40 a.m. when I finally was able to, no, I'm sorry, 7:40 a.m. when I finally got to sleep. I tell you, it was so punishing to me. But, all good, right? Okay, so here it is. I'm going to go ahead and edit this real quick. Home pick website. I'm going to go ahead and Photoshop this thing here. And I think it's going to be a good picture for the front of it. You'll at least see me on the background. You'll see me wearing black. You'll see me kind of smiling. I thought it was a pretty cool shot. So we'll see what people think of it. Long hair picture. Oh, I know the one that's talking about. I was like, no. What did I just name that picture? No. Oh, there it is. Yep, that's it. Okay, I'm going to Photoshop this, and then we'll be good. So I cannot see your chat right now if you're writing something to me. You could be writing anything as far as I know. I'll bring it back up here in a second and look at it. No auto color. Photoshop, you're failing me. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and crop this thing down. Image size, we're going to go down to, what is a good resolution for a picture for a website? 800 width? Something like that? I don't know. We'll do 800 and we'll see how that looks. I mean, that'll be fine. It'll do what it wants to, I guess. Save as. Home pick website, and I spelled it wrong. So I'll do the correct way. We'll save and we'll bring this back up. All right. Let me close this window down. Bring up the window that I was operating in. Sound speeds. Image, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. Oh, garbage. Why did you do this? Ah. Okay, I'm just going to change this out, and then I'll add the thing back in there. Design, animation. Sorry, it's giving me only default options here. It's supposed to be a good editor. Search for image. There we go. Okay, let me choose. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to bring everything back in here. So now you're going to see live once again. That's the picture. So I figure we'd throw that one on there. I thought that was a pretty decent one. So write caption here. I'll just do sound speeds. Just yell sound speeds. There we go. Oh, let's not do the W in front. That wouldn't be good. And we'll center this little monkey up. And then I'll hit bold. We'll do heading 2, heading 1, heading 2. And then can I move the heading up to the top? Doesn't seem to have an option to move it up to the top. What is that? No, that's not it. Now, Midori, I do want to mention that one of the reasons why the cables work well for me is because I make them myself. There's a lot of expertise that goes into making cables the way that I do. There's a lot of I don't want to say geeking out, but there's a lot of years of expertise that went into learning how to make cables the way that I make them. So just keep that in mind, that not all cables that are made are created equal. Okay. Background is the image, full bleed, inset. Colors. Sure, whatever. Does this allow me to change it? White minimal. I believe it. I would trust you for sure, Alan. Thank you so much. I'd hope. I mean, I've made cables for years, and I've literally had 0 issues ever with cables I've made. I've replaced them after a certain amount of time, like after a couple of years of solid work, if I've run them through, and they've gotten trampled on, run over, that kind of thing. But then that's if I've been using them in the field and booming with them or something. I just will replace them over the course of time, just to make sure that there's not a glitch or anything that happens in the middle of a take. Yeah, I'll make cables whatever length, sure. Yeah, the cables that I recently made in my gummy bear video, the one, where is it? I'll go over here to my videos. And it was this video here, the one about the gummy bear. Where is it? It was called This Was a Mistake. There it is. This was a mistake. In that video, I actually talk about the cables that I make and all the different aspects of them. And I show what I do. And actually, I made them in a very short way because I didn't want to sit there. The video was already long enough. It was already like an hour long, and I didn't want to sit there for like 3 hours while I did all the little steps to it. So I just kind of made them in a very quick way. But they're the cables that I'm using right here. This cable here is one of the ones that I made. Edit theme. I don't even know why I'm in this section. Let's just use the generic. What is this minimal stuff? Go away. Colors, go away. Design, go away. Font. Actually, Midori, there's 2 YouTubers that I've made cables for. And one of them I made 10 cables for. One of them I made 1 cable for because he was having issues. And I told him that I would make him, I'd make him some cables because they were both having some concerns and issues. And they've had 0 issues, at least that they've told me. So, what is that font? I want to know what that font is. Pages. All right, let's look at the header. What is the font? Style. I'll shoot you an email or Discord, Discord you in the AM if that's okay. I just saw the time. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'll gladly make some. I've got another wave of cables and dummy XLRs that I'll be making, and I'll be ordering parts for this upcoming Sunday. So if you get it to me in the next 5 days, I'll order parts, and then I'll get the video. I'll get the cables made within a couple of weeks. So if you have anything you want me to make, by all means, and I can make all kinds of different things to whatever length. I mean, I wouldn't suggest taking an XLR over about 300 feet long, but I can do it if you want. Yeah, absolutely. Good night. Okay, site title. Where is the font? Mobile logo max height. No. That's not it. Go away. Edit site header. Header layout. Logo. Still didn't have font. I don't know Squarespace. See, I would want a different font there. That doesn't seem good to me. So we'll go over here. Let me just double check my settings here. I think we already made them pretty good. SEO, social, image. No, I'm back here again. Edit. All right. Where is font? No. No. No, no, no. That's the image, changing the image. What's the longest an XLR cable should be? Should be or can be? You start to have a lot of information loss. You start to have the impedance go up like crazy. What is it? 270 feet, or was that a Cat 5? XLR might have been 350 feet. Geez, I have not answered that question in a long time. Let's go to Google. Longest an XLR cable Let's just do that. 200 feet. How long can an XLR cable be? 100 feet? Theoretical, 1,000 feet? Starts to run into problems over 100 feet. Yeah. So, I mean, there you go. I've made them, I've seen them up to 300 feet. And I do know that they do experience loss at that point. But it's not enough that if you use professional gear, like it was going into a Zaxcom Diva, a Diva 5, I believe it was, and it was solid. I mean, Zaxcom makes really good stuff, so it was going to be just fine regardless. But the 300-foot cable is, I believe, the longest that I've ever seen. 300-foot XLR, and that was just a standard XLR. It wasn't a Star Quad or any special thing made. Wish I could run an XLR cable longer than 300 feet or 100 meters for the rest of the time. Rest of the world who's sensible. Yes, I agree. Shouldn't run it that long. Yeah, buddy. I tell you, man, it's, XLRs are great. It's still, I prefer the sound of an XLR cabled boom, but for convenience and the amount of boom, the amount of flexibility I have and how active I am on a set, it really does need to be wireless for me to have full functioning now. I guess you can make them 10 kilometers long if you have enough cable, but yeah, I guess 100 feet sounds reasonable. You can buy spools of XLR, 1,000 feet spools, I think for $489. I think 656-foot spool of the kind of Star Quad, and I'm only talking about the Star Quad that I buy. I think that it was $389. So if I were to have somebody wanting a bunch of 100-foot XLRs or something like that and wanted me to make them, I could get those spools and save them some money. But I don't need to buy a spool. Ooh. The fruit punch ones kind of hit. I like it. It's good. All right. Temperature is going up, or down rather. So I'm going to layer back up here. At least throw it over the shoulders, which I like. Because I'm in pre-production for a film later this year. Which I want over 100 meters. But practically speaking, I suspect I'm going to take the approach of dropping a recorder at the second location. Yeah. That would actually be a better way to do it. Why in the world do you need to have... Why do you need to have a recorder 100 meters, a second recorder 100 meters away? That would actually be one of those things that I would say an extra, you need to bring in a second sound mixer for that. Dry Zip Fizz. I do take Dry Zip Fizz. I'll actually take the entire powder, an entire Zip Fizz straight down my throat. Now, I don't do that very often, but I mean, I certainly do. What I'll usually do is pour a little bit on my tongue, and then I'll enjoy it that way. But yeah, I'm certainly not going to do that. Not tonight. And then if I do add it to water, I usually just add it to a little tiny bit of water. That way, it's extremely strong. We're recording in 2 locations at once. I get that, but shouldn't that be a second sound mixer? Sound speed? Because if you're that far away, you can't just set it up and hit record, or at least I wouldn't think you'd want to do that. Second mixer would be nice, but it is a small crew, low budget, and ideally I'd like to have all the files recorded in one location. Do you have a boom operator? Because if you do have a boom operator, send them over there to mix for that setup and just do everything live. I mean, or plants or, something like that. But If it's just one day, I would push to see if they could bring in a second mixer for that one day. Tell them that's the right way to do it, and you really should do it. Did you say it's a one-man band? Small crew, low budget? I know that if there's a way that it can be done properly, Soundspeed will make it happen. It might be a one-man band show, but I would at least hope that he would bring in a second audio guy, or the production would let him bring in a second audio guy just for the day that he's going to do that. My thoughts is I could still monitor the second recorder wirelessly. And yes, I'll have a boom op, but would rather keep him at the main unit in the second location as just one stationary person. Oh, okay, so that's different. You could actually, Mind is wandering. You know what? I think personally, if it's just 100 meters away, and that's like the travel space it would be, it could be through a wall, but, just through like the next wall over, but it has to route around 100 meters. Yeah, you already pick up what I'm throwing down. Doesn't sound bad when you put it that way. What I'm wondering, if you can get 3 XLRs, it would have a higher impedance, but you have a good recorder. You have an F8N, right? Or did you? No, wait a minute. Did you get another recorder? I'm trying to remember what you have now. I don't think I've seen your gear in a while. It would almost give you better results if you were to run 300 feet to you. Because I've done that before. I've run 300 feet, which is about 100 meters, and run that as a distance to a second location and gotten it. The impedance is definitely, there's some loss in the cable, but it would be less, I think, if you're just setting up a boom or a microphone on someone's stationary. I would think that if you ran that cable, I wouldn't say you have a problem. Zaxcom Max 833 FN8 F8N. Yeah, the 833 is what I saw you recently get. That's what it was. Tascam DR 660 680. I'm not familiar with that one. 552. Yes, I've got a problem. You know what? I'll answer you in a second, Ruben. What I would say, if you're not recording on the Sound Devices 833, throw that over there, throw that monkey into auto mix. And if you can set up a wireless system, run the Cat 5. Run the Cat 5 and then power and run Wingman through and hit record. See if you can do that. If you can run a couple of tests feasibly, you may be able to make that work and just record it by hitting the record button remotely. Maybe. Might be a possibility. I don't remember Wingman if it lets you record or not, or if it's just for entering data. I don't think it can record now that I think about it. I don't know, man. Interesting idea and concept. You could almost consider it like a bag drop. Put it over there and tell someone to hit record, but then, do you want to trust that? Speaking of recorders, what is a good recorder that isn't too expensive, let's say below $800? Okay, here's your question. Do you need multiple channels, like over 3? Do you need over 4? How many channels are you talking about? Because that would dictate what I recommend. If we were to go, let's go to Amazon. And just to at least look at prices for comparison here. See the kind of stuff that I've been searching. There's some weird things or whatever. Okay, so here we go. If I were to go to Around 4 channels. Well, I don't think a Zoom F4 would cut it. I know that the F6 would, but the F4 renewed, there you go. I mean, there's one option for you, $445. That's an option. The F4 is pretty solid. I mean, you even have one of those sound speed, and I know that for a while, the F4 was better than the F8 with regards to quite a bit. So I mean, I would say if you can get an F4, I would go for the F4 or the F6. Honestly, I personally love Sound Devices stuff, but let's see. Sound Devices Mix Pre 3. And you could go that way too. There's the Mix Pre 6 for under $900, but that's out of your price range, I believe. So there you go. Personally, I like the Mix Pre series. I would probably say go if you are flexible with going up a little bit, then I'd go Mix Pre 6. If not, I would say go F6 or F4 and then Mix Pre 3, mainly because those would at least give you more channels. And you said if you need 4 channels, then the Mix Pre 3 wouldn't cut it. Tascam D680 was pretty good, ultra low budget, 6-channel recorder for the bad old days prior to the revolutionary Zoom F8 coming out. Paired with the Sound Devices 552, I had a great starter kit. Good. Yeah, once I had to recover 3 rooms at a conference in a hotel, we rented 3 little F8s and dropped them in each room. Just ran back and forth to each room during the event to check on things. Yeah. If you need 4 channels, then the Zoom F4 is an amazing choice on a tiny budget. You need to buy it secondhand, though, in my opinion. They're phasing it out. Yeah. You can do 6 channels with the Zoom F4. That's including a mix, I believe, right? I recorded 2 entire feature films with the F4, and I was often going up to 6 channels. Oh, nice. I didn't even know about the Mix Pre 3. Might have to consider it. Thanks for the options. Yeah, sure. But I would definitely say look into something like if you don't want to go over $800, I would say get the F6. Not for the 32-bit floating point at all, but it's a very small little bitty thing. It fits into a small bag. It's brand new. It's been out since I think last year, and it's a very solid little recorder. The F4, it would be my second choice. It's a little older, and like David said, they're phasing it out, so you probably need to get it used. But they're still very solid machines. As a matter of fact, I may put my feelers out there and see if I can find an F8 or F6, F4 used, because that would at least save me from having to take the Mix Pre 6 away from here to constantly record whenever I go out. Oh yeah, it's my own email. No, 6 ISO tracks in the Zoom F4 does 8 tracks if you're mixing well. Really? I didn't realize that the Zoom F4 did 6 tracks. Does it really? I should maybe go back over here and look at it, because the F4 right here, where are the inputs on the side? I could have sworn it only had 4 inputs. Maybe it's digital. Is that really? You saw somebody selling it for $350? Tag me in that. I may pick it up. I may pick that up. Oh, you can configure the auxiliary. Gotcha. See, I'm looking at it right there. And so it is 4 channels, and then it has the auxiliary. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's good to know at least. Geez. Done. I mean, there you go. That's a picture. It's at least a picture up on the front. About, I think we did the about section. If a person is aspiring to be a production audio sound mixer, contacts are drying. If a person is aspiring to be a production sound mixer, then the Zoom F8 can be found for under $800 easily. And I'd take that over an F6. As you said, 32-bit isn't that important. The reason I was talking about the Zoom products, and the reason why I would get it is because it would be really nice to have a second recorder that I could go out of. That's a bundle. Let me just look at this. Because I would really like to be able to go out, have a line out. I use the Zoom EXH6 for channels 5 and 6 on the Zoom F4. A bit clumsy, but it is what I had. If a person needs to frequently do a 6-channel, you get the Zoom F8. And it does have auto mix, right? I may just get an F8 sometime. I mean, it does have DBFS metering, right? I think it was DBU is the one I saw. It was set up for DBU, and I was like frustrated by that. Yeah, that's DBU right there on the front. That's what I thought. They had it set up for DBU metering. And I was like, why would you do this? He says, well, it works fine. I'm like, never mind. That's the bad thing about the F4 has consumer line out levels, same as F8. That's what it was. That's a benefit for the Zoom F8N has pro line level out. See, okay, F8N. I may just get that then whenever time comes. I got to get on another show, man. If you need a boom operator, bring me down to New Zealand, man. Could you imagine that? How cool that would be? Having SoundSpeed and SoundSpeeds working on a movie together? Dude, I'm unemployed right now. I don't mind sitting through quarantine for a couple of weeks because I know your country is pretty strict about the quarantine thing right now. So, but you know what? DBU is not that bad. The biggest, craziest thing I guess you could say about DBU metering is that when you look at it, you're like, okay, so it has about 24 decibels over 0 dB before it clips. Okay, well, you may look at that and say, that's obviously what it is. But in other countries, it's only plus 18. It's sometimes even lower. So it's one of those things is like, if you use an American standard, plus 24 dB, and you don't want to ever take it that hot. I mean, who wants to ride it that hot? I mean, because your peaks are, they could still, even if they're mainly peaking around like plus 8 or something like that, one single peak could jump up quite a bit more. And yes, the F4, F8, F6, F8N all have auto mix. Yeah. It doesn't have Dan Dugan auto mix, which is the very best in my opinion. And if I were to get, that's the one thing I will say. If I were to get a Sound Devices MixPre 10, which is appealing, but I don't really need to spend the money. If I were to get one of those, Sound Devices would set me up with the plugins on them. The noise assist and the auto mix. They'd set me up with that. They would unlock it for me. And they've already told me they would. I don't know if I want to. I don't really need another recorder. I grab the MixPre 6 and I run out with it. So here I am talking about wanting to buy something. I don't need to buy it. We've been getting a lot of film in. Wait a minute. We've been letting in a lot of film crew for Avatar and Lord of the Rings lately. Oh, don't get me started on the pricing of the plugins. Gee, yeah. So you see, SoundSpeed, you could bring me over there. I don't think you'd want to tell your boom operator, well, I'm bringing in another guy. You and I could have some fun though on a show. I could be in some of your videos and completely annoy your people because you're very energized and you speak very just true to the camera. Mine are chopped up like crazy. You've seen my videos. All right, let's go. Let's look around. I should see about getting that email address on the second line. me see if I can do that. Can I put just this one and center just that? Yes. Save. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that for right now. Ha! I so wish you could come. But as I said before, budget's very low. It's really a serious problem for finding someone. I bet. Unless you do have that Avatar or the Lord of the Rings budget. Is Lord of the Rings actually in production right now? Because I thought that they weren't starting that until farther in the fall. Been pushing back, but the producer-director's argument against me is, hey, we're already paying him more than a first AC, and it needs to be fair. Uh-huh. You want to talk about fair? Let's talk about what a sound person has to actually deal with. We're not talking about, granted, I understand the first AC position is extremely difficult with regards to getting razor thin depths of fields in focus. But with different things like focus assist, it's gotten a lot easier. So, I mean, so a first AC uses focus assist and things light up and shows them where they need to focus. They don't even necessarily need to measure a whole lot anymore if they've been doing it for a while. They don't have to. But a boom operator runs the entire set, not a department head, but needs to act with that authority on set. I mean, here I am speaking to the choir, I know, but still, a boom operator needs to basically interact and have so many different skill sets with people while the sound mixer runs the show behind the scenes. So, I mean, you talk about a department where, the wardrobe department has like 4 or 6 or something like that department heads. They have various different department heads even on set. But the sound department only has the one, even though there's one behind the scenes and one in front. But you'll have sometimes have 2 different wardrobe people that are department heads on their set within the wardrobe department. It's kind of interesting. But I really wish that a boom operator could be treated and paid more as a department head. Okay, however, so many people don't understand it's so much easier to find a camera crew for any shoots than a sound crew. Yeah, because everybody wants to be in camera. You go to any of these film schools out there and you say, hey, what do you want to do? You want to be part of my movie? Yeah, sure. You want me to operate the camera? That's what everyone wants to do. You want to talk about sound, though? Sound people in a small film program or something like that, everybody wants to be a director. Everybody wants to be a producer. Everybody wants to be camera. But very few people want to be sound. So when you're talking about wanting to get experience, if you have 4 films that are being shot in, let's just say, a semester, 4 films, each person might have a chance to direct one. Might be an opportunity to be on camera crew for maybe 1 or maybe 2. The sound department will be on every single one of them, though, because they're going to be in high demand. Who's going to be more experienced? Simon Hayes, the Academy Award-winning sound mixer of Les Miserables, he actually did that exact thing. He went to film school, and he was the person that was the person always doing those productions in the background, because he was the person that everybody needed to record their shows. Plain and simple. It was one of those things that he was working every single weekend. I think it was Simon Hayes. Maybe I'm confusing him with Matt Price, because I know they did the sound chat together. I think it was Simon Hayes, though. He was talking about that. My latest video was about a focus assist tool. My latest video was about, was it really? Actually, now that you think about it, I remember seeing it. That was a while back, though. It wasn't a recent video, was it? My channel. Where are you? Since I've been subscribed to you, one of the longest, you usually show up pretty close to the bottom. Okay. It was 6 days ago. Why didn't I hear about this? 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago? I didn't hear about this. I'm going to have to watch this video. I'm not going to watch it live, obviously, but I'll keep your page up there. Do with the mohawk. I'll keep this up there so that way we can see. And there's you. That's a good shot, dude. With all your peeps. I think you mean Matt Price. Okay. I was going to say sound seems more interesting to me. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of challenging too. By the way, anybody in this stream right now, if you are seeing, let me see how many people we have. 13, 11. Lost 2 people. If you have not yet seen David's channel over here, Sound Speed, definitely check it out. Sound Speeding. This is one of the things that drives me crazy. Look at this. Sound Speeding, you obviously have Sound Speeding. YouTube.com, which is also, you could take out the /C and just do this, and it will also bring up your channel. But if you go to my channel over here, your channel, it still shows up as this you get whatever, but you can still go to Sound Speeds and it will pop up. It's so annoying. I want mine to show up like that at the top like yours does. It's so irritating to me how that happens. I'm just looking at the side here. I had 10 things in there, and you were one of them. Wait a minute. I'm going to have to change that because you were in my subscription. I don't know who the other one was, but you were in my recommendations. Where? That is so weird because I didn't remove you. No, you should definitely be in there because is the channel username or okay, so youtube.com/. I'm going to have to add you back here. Sound Speeding. Add. Okay, www. Add. http://www.youtube.com/ Sound Speeding. There. And I'm going to put you back where you belong, which is right up here. I put you behind Curtis Judd. I remember that. That's where I put you. But you know what? Because you've been out for a while, I'm going to put you there. Oops. I'm going to put you over here for a while. I don't know why it removed you, but I'm sorry about that. I'm going to put you right up there behind my podcast for a bit. So that way you're going to show up as the number 2 position behind the podcast channel. That's the way you're I don't know. What is the other channel now? Oh, it must have been because Matt Price is no longer doing sound rolling. So I removed him, and I guess when I hit the exit, it must have removed you too. I wouldn't have removed you. So sorry about that, dude. View channel. There you are. Okay. That is so crazy. That is so crazy. Yeah, sorry about that. It must have... Wait a minute. Is it 10 now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's 9. Okay. Because I was going to say, I didn't remove you. It must have accidentally gotten deleted when I removed Matt Price because he doesn't update his channel anymore. So I didn't want to keep him in this list. No, he doesn't need to change his name. I asked him last year what would he think about changing his name, and he never responded to the question. I think you did. I thought you did remove because of a certain. Oh no. That's no. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that was the reason why. Because your name is different and you're international. That wasn't an issue. It was only a local issue. But if you are not familiar, David, who is Sound Speed right here, he has a lot of different videos here, and he actually started up his channel. If you want to look at this is kind of cool. Joined June 6, 2017. And his first video, if you look, sort by oldest, his first video was June 6th, same day. So he started his channel and did his first video there. If you go to my channel, I want to show you something kind of interesting. I started my channel May 14th, so about 3 weeks earlier. But if you look at my videos, my very first video, I established the channel and then did not launch my first video so I didn't actually release my first video until 20 days after he did. So he started his channel about 3 weeks after mine and launched his first video, but I had already gotten all my artwork ready and gotten everything formatted the way I wanted it to be before I actually started. So that was the difference. That was one of the differences between he and I, is we had the same exact idea. I beat him to it, but he launched his first video first. Kind of cool. Let's see here, your channel. And Soundspeed, let's see, Shirtless, or maybe Alan needs to change his name. If I were Soundspeed, I would give it up. You've been sorry, true, never responded. Okay, great minds think alike. And yes, it is crazy how spooky similar our names and timing are. Great minds think alike. Rubino Snap. Here is something interesting. I'm going to share something else with you. There is a Soundspeeds LLC in the Washington, D.C. area. And there is another Soundspeed in Ireland. If you were to go over here and do a search for Soundspeed Ireland, there we go. There's another Soundspeed out there. And I know about them because when we had our Mixers Mixer last year, I think, or maybe the year before that, they actually invited him. They always have a scholarship where you send somebody in from a foreign country to see what it would be like and to join us for the Sound Mixer. And they brought in the guy who owns this, and he got up in front of us all and was like, yeah, I have a company called Soundspeed. Now I instantly see all these faces in the room turn towards me. And I'm just like continuing to look at him, keeping completely monotone, not saying anything, not doing anything, because I'm like, yes, everybody in this room knows who Soundspeeds is. It was so funny. Anyway, I use the Sound Devices USB Pre 2 for voiceover. Do you know of any unit that might be audibly superior by ear, not just by specs? USB Pre 2. I have not seen one of those in a while. Let me refresh my mind of looking at it. I won't look at the specs. Sound Devices USB Pre 2. I think I remember it because it has the knobs on the front, I believe. The two little knobs on the front. Yeah. No. It's solid. Don't mess with it. It should be, it's a solid machine. It's got great preamps. No, the last, I've only used it one time, and I remember it was really, really solid. Yeah. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it, man. It's solid. No need to change, in my opinion. Don't worry about it. So, I mean, the only other thing I would say is that if you want to actually get rid of that or upgrade, if you were to buy one of the Sound Devices mixed pre's, those are solid. I mean, I even used my version 1 mixed pre, and it's been discontinued since the mixed pre version 2 came out. But you don't need the 32-bit floating point at all. You don't need to have any bells and whistles. But I'll tell you, your recorder right there, the USB Pre 2, I'd stick with that. If you're happy with it, the only other thing you might be able to gain is you would be able to turn off a computer, turn off anything else it's connected to, whatever it is, unless it's an actual recorder. If you go out of that into a recorder, and in that case, I would just say your microphone could go directly into something like a mixed pre-recorder, because these are solid. I love the preamps. I love them. They're wonderful in every way, and they're solid as a rock. That's what I would say. Go for. Plus, of course, sound speed is very similar to sound rolling. That's why I asked Matt Price, was a while before, the year before I started, first if it was okay to use that name. Don't buy Sound Devices USB Pre 2 in 2020. No. He already has it. He already has it. He says he uses it, and is it worth upgrading? If he's using it and getting great results out of it, I wouldn't change it unless he has to. I mean, it's a solid machine. And he could also, still be recording analog off of, going out of it analog, as far as I know. But if you're happy with it, then don't fix it. It's broken and carry on. Yeah, exactly. Same advice. It's funny you talked to Matt Price, because after he interviewed me for his sound chats, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whenever that was, when he did that, I asked him in either late 2016 or late 2017, if I were to start up a sound channel and did, some of the same kind of things as him, would it be imposing on him? And he said, no, not at all. More the merrier is what he told me. The words that he used is the more the merrier. So it's kind of funny that you also reached out to him. I just wanted to see because I was talking about interviewing people. If you look back in my playlist, I have, where is it? Sound speeds. And then I have stories. Where is it? Stories from set. I have Robert Maxfield, Whit Norris, Cooper Andrews, and Philip Barrero. Those are such fun things. I should almost release those. I should release the rest, because I only played one story. But I tell you, it was a lot of fun that we had. Max told some really cool stories. Philip Barrero, he was such a trooper, man. I ended up using Google Hangouts for these back in the day, and there was an issue with Google Hangouts. The first time, it put just me on the screen. You couldn't see him at all. The second, and it muted him. So it was just me on screen. He wasn't there at all in sound or in picture. And so the second time we did it, the system glitched, and you heard the sound, but you did not see him. He actually agreed to come back on and tell all those stories again. It was amazing. I felt so bad that it glitched the second time. And I don't know why it did, because with Max and with Whit and with Cooper, it was fine. But only with Flip. It was crazy. And he's a troll. He has some fun stories trolling people. So yeah, works best standalone. It doesn't surprise me one bit. I wouldn't honestly probably run USB with it if I could run analog. I think we now know the roots of all your names. Haha. Yes, Matt was very encouraging for everyone. He was greatly inspired me to get started on YouTube. Pity he is no longer active, but he is happy, and that's what matters. Yeah, I talked about him in the stream the other day. He's now got a family, and he has a business with his wife. And the two of them do make baby clothes together. He still takes projects on when he wants to. He'll still, like, I think at a trade show about 7 months ago, he represented Deity because they had another trade show going on in another city at the exact same weekend. And so he sent a whole care package out to Matt and said, represent Deity. And he'd done that in the past when they had double booked things in the past. And Matt would just go out there and he'd talk about the Deity products and then send it all back to him. But yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, I like Matt a lot. Actually, I went to the UK in 2016, I believe. Yes, it was 2016. It was right before I started Walking Dead. I went to the UK for 2 weeks, and I actually was going to try to meet up with him. But I only had a few hours, and my best way to get to London was going to be by train. And the trains did not have a good schedule at the time that I could just jump on a train and go there and meet up with him. I looked at it, and it was going to be something like round trip 180 pounds or something like that. And by the time I got there, we would have only had about an hour and 20 minutes or so with the time frame that I had, which would have taken up like almost an entire day, or it would have taken up like 6 or 8 hours in travel. And because if I didn't make that one train in an hour and a half going back the other direction, it would have been another few hours. And so I was not able to make it work. But I sent him some stuff over there, and he released a video where I brought him a care package over with a whole bunch of sound swag and stuff from America. And if you ever brought me down to New Zealand for some reason, I'd bring you a nice care package too, David. That's quite the career change. But you know what? They figured out a way to make baby clothes in a very, very effective manner. His wife started doing it when she was pregnant. And he started joining because their business just rocketed. And then when the baby was born, they were able to work with the baby and work together. And that's really awesome. So, I mean, it was really, really cool. I don't need to sell it further. Well, fine then. Stop making your excuses and bring me down there then, dude. I'm not doing anything right now except live streaming. I mean, it doesn't do anything, other than just, chit-chat. I'm having ZipViz live, talking while building. How much of this website have I actually built tonight? I didn't build this. I was able to add a picture to the front of the thing. That's brilliant. With that, I don't even know if I like the picture. I put about in there, and I've done nothing else. I've done nothing else on this entire thing. And the whole purpose of this stream is to build this. But I've not been doing it. I'm terribly terrible at this. All right. What Alan is saying is he'd rather live stream from New Zealand. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying, Ruben. Hook me up. Let me live stream from New Zealand. 2 or 3 pages. What does that mean? Yeah, 2 or 3 pages. That's all I've done. That's about it. What is the contribute? That's over there. So if I click contribute, and I think I put that over there where it's not linkable off the main thing. Yeah, and it takes you down there. Are public unless they're disabled, password protection, something like that. So the whole idea behind the contribute is going to be, I'm going to mention again in that section, there's going to be a few different parts to that. And I guess I'll do this some other time off camera. But there's going to be, if you notice the video that I did, your videos, sort by, where is it? Looking for sound content producers. That video right there that I released 2 months ago. I am, if someone is going completely nuts sitting at their house during quarantine and wants to actually produce some sort of a video, sound related video, then you have the option, if you want, to shoot me an idea with your thoughts for a video. And then what we'll do is we'll actually talk. I'll talk to you for a while, help develop your idea, so that way it's still your idea, but it works for my SoundSpeeds audience. And then what I'll do is I can add an intro, or I can add an outro, or I can add both, or I can add neither, whatever you would need, and I would support you in creating it. I have one guy who has submitted a video to me just today. I previewed it. It's definitely something that's going to be on the channel. There's a couple of questions I've asked him, and we're going to see what he does with it. But it's going to be a cool video, and if it all works out, I'll have it out by maybe Thursday or Friday as a special feature. Are Neutrik connectors really the best? Well, best is relative. Personally, I like them better than Switchcraft, or better than really any other brand I've ever used. They're solid as a rock. They're definitely very easy to solder. They are made very, very well. They have a lot of versatility to them. There's different designs of them. You can even get what is it called? The Gem? Neutrik. Jewel, something like that, where you can get little bling on the connector. It has little stones on it. So if you want to show off your XLR connector, you can do that, and that's kind of funny. But I love the EMC connectors. I absolutely love those more than any other connector that I've ever seen. Those EMCs are solid, and so I definitely recommend them on the female connector. And that's the reason why the cables that I'm currently making for people only have EMC female connectors on them. I will not put something else on those because it's one of those things. I've tested many different cables over the years, and the only issue you ever run into them is if you're using them in rain. If it gets any rain inside of them, it will short out the switchboard, the circuit board rather. And so you just wrap it and you strain protect it like you would or you rain protect it like you would any other connector, and it's not an issue. And if you want to see how to do it, look for this cable, look for this video right here, Seal Your Electronics from Water, that I released 2 months ago. That video right there will explain exactly what to do and how to do it, how to seal your electronics from rain. But whether are they actually best? In my opinion, they are. I love those things. But best are definitely relative. Now, Mogami, when they make their premium cables, they use Neutrik connectors. If you looked at the Sound Devices recorders right there, the Zoom recorders, they use Neutrik connectors. So a lot of people, when they make premium connectors, they usually use them. What is this? Yeah, the Behringer CT100 is a Reen, which is not as good. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with them as long as you get a good connector. But when you touch a Neutrik connector, they just feel solid. They're just, they feel good. This is the XLR dummy I made for myself. NC Neutrik connector MXX. So this is a male XX connector. Alrighty. Well, we're just sitting here looking at the screen here, doing absolutely nothing. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to turn this thing into cam mode. We're not really doing anything right now that's ultra amazing, except just sitting here chit-chatting. So let's just keep running with that. Don't need to have the window up. Now, has anybody ever used CrystalCon? That's what it was. Crystal, the Crystal version. Has anyone seen Streamlabs software that supposedly allows you to overlay and do different overlays and create things the certain way? I'm thinking about, like, what I basically had to do set up tonight is a separate window for all of this, so that way you don't see all the tabs that I usually have open and all that garbage. But it would definitely be interesting. Is the U.S. going back into lockdown? So says the Washington Post. Much of the U.S. I don't know. I don't honestly know. They have a version of OBS. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I do know that some industries are opening back up. Some industries, even though their states are open, they're not opening back up. I know that if the United States wants to be serious about fighting off coronavirus, they cannot do things the way they've been doing. It's not been helping. But I do also know that the original strain of the coronavirus that was killing so many people in China did mutate a little bit when it came to the United States, and it was not as bad. And now there's another strain that is more contagious, but it's not killing as many people. So it's technically slowly diminishing, I guess you could say. As it mutates, it's becoming a little better for everybody, where you're going to still have the effects, still take a while to get over it, but you'll at least most likely survive. At least that's my understanding, and I could be wrong on that. Yeah, schools are staying closed. I saw Coronavirus states mandate mask. Begin to shut down again as cases soar. Well, we'll see what happens. A lot of people who want to fight against the masks, it's actually quite funny. Some people are just like, hey, you're not going to force me to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear one. But I tell you, I mean, there's some companies out there making really good masks. As a matter of fact, I didn't show it the other day in the live stream. I could grab it. I'm looking right at it. That if you need a mask, I can tell you exactly the one to get. The one that I got is made by a sound company that is no longer making things because they're currently closed. But I tell you, someone that has an interest in getting a mask really needs to look at the VersaFlex ones. VersaFlex has a store here. I'll just post the VersaFlex. Okay, here we go. I'm going to post this in chat. Their masks are amazing. Matter of fact, I'll show it to you here in a second. You want to see the mask? Okay, fine. Let me look real quick. No surprise, exactly the same thing happened here with SARS, mutated and become less lethal, which folks are always using to predict the end of the world back in the early 2000s. Yeah, no surprise there. All right, so if you want to see the mask, give me a split second. I'll be back, and I'm just going to grab it from right over there, and I'll be back in like 10 seconds. Okay, here we go. You have the VersaFlex logo right there, which is just amazing because they make really awesome harnesses that you would wear if you wear a bag. The size I got is the men's regular size, which I think is a woman's large. But what makes these so cool, let me take these headphones off for a second. And too bad I don't have my glasses nearby again. But what makes these really cool is that it's breathable on the inside. This is a patent pending design. So if you look at this on the outside, you can still breathe through it. Now, here's the thing. They are not the easiest masks to breathe through, but then neither are the N95s, the ones that are designed to keep more stuff out. Now, here's what makes them kind of cool. If you go over, notice these are a little bit on the loose side. So what I've actually bought from Amazon is some of those it will basically stretch it back here and connect it up with like a little adapter. I forgot what it's called, a little strap that will grab it and keep it from going behind your ears. So that way it's not going to be as tight on your ears pulling forward. But here's what makes these cool is you see this little flap right here? If you pull that flap up and you wear glasses, it completely seals this part right here against your nose. I should almost go grab my glasses too so you can see. Now this is a little bit small on a little bit big on my face, as you can see. But if I were to, when I get these little straps, like you see how it's pulling off my cheeks over here, but once I get the little adapter things, which should be arriving tomorrow, it will fit. Come on. It will fit more like this. And when it does, it will seal this area off so that way my nose, I mean, you can't see it, but it would not vent upwards into my glasses. It vents off the sides or in the bottom. So you could very easily wear this and keep it from sealing up over your nose, which is cool. And if you do not have glasses and you want to have it be more like this, like a traditional mask, jeez. Itchy nose, man, I tell you. I don't know what it is. Whenever I sit here and stream, it's almost like there's a little bug that sits here and says, I'm going to pester his nose. But right here is the way that this works. So it's the flap is the patent pending design. But you see how this is a little bit loose on me. So what I need to do is wear it a little bit higher, and I'll get that strap and it will tighten up to about there so it will fit better. But that's one of the things I'll be looking forward to once it arrives tomorrow. It's shipped out. And if you're curious as to what I'm talking about, I'll show it to you real quick. I'll bring it up on Amazon. Orders. Here it is. I'll just post the link so that way you can check it out if you want to. And of course, because it's so easy just to throw an affiliate link in there and use the SiteStripe, that is an affiliate link that's in there. So if you click it, it's an affiliate one, or as they refer to it, associate link now. But those little straps right there just loop over. You just loop your mask around it and it will grab it just fine. So there you go. Oh, and whoever that was a little while ago that was talking about getting a Zoom or some sort of a recorder, if you do buy from Amazon, if you wouldn't mind first clicking on one of my links, that'd be awesome. Right now, as you know, I've been unemployed for 6 months, so any little bit will actually help me quite a bit. If you missed it earlier today, it is my anniversary as of the 7th. So today, one of the fun things that my wife and I have planned is we are going to have dinner probably at the Cheesecake Factory. Now, this is what's funny. The last 3 times we've eaten at the Cheesecake Factory, which is usually about 4 or 6 months apart, we usually, for whatever reason, get upset stomachs. I don't know why. Their food is always done to really good standards. It tastes good. But for some reason, we get upset stomachs afterwards. And it's not because we're eating too much. I usually just have the Buffalo Blast and I'll get a piece of cheesecake. And if I feel like I'm stuffing myself or something, then, so be it. But that's one of the things that we're despite the unemployment, we're actually going to splurge a little bit and get Cheesecake Factory. Because in my opinion, it is worth celebrating the fact that a woman has stayed with me for 16 years. For her, to her, it's, I guess, a nice dinner. I don't know. Kind of funny. Let's see. It says, that was me, of course. When I do, I'll use the affiliate link or shout it to you if I can't figure it out. Yeah, that'd be great. Just any of the ones that say Genius links or something like that. Since we talked about it, Actually, the way that those work, if you're curious, is if instead of paying it basically is a referral fee. I don't know if you're familiar with the way that those work, but YouTube, if you click it, it goes to Amazon, and kind of like if you just went to Amazon on your own and you brought it up, they would keep all the profit. But if you click on a link of someone that that's helped you or that you like the gear of or something like that, and you want to support that content creator, whoever that is, then and you send it there, what it does is it pays you basically a little small referral fee. And that is based on a percentage of the total sale. And that's something that they, instead of giving coupons, which a lot of companies still do, it basically pays you that way. So it's a small, I think it's like 3% of the total sale for electronic purchases. But that does add up. Congratulations, my girlfriend and I reached 10 years last month. And some catching up to do to reach your streak. Good work. Thanks. Well, one of the big secrets is that I normally am not home. So if I'm not home, I'm not around to make her mad. That's at least what I'm going to say. But normally I work, a lot of hours, and I come home and I'll disappear up here and do SoundSpeed stuff, and that's basically what I'll end up doing. And so it's kind of funny. I'll see her. We'll go vacationing and doing, activities on the weekends and stuff like that together. Most of the time, I just work constantly in sound. And then I come home and I do SoundSpeed stuff in the evening. So we'll spend some time together, but we don't spend a whole lot like nonstop, like newlyweds. They'll rush home after work and they'll fall into each other's arms and cuddle until the early morning hours and talk nonsense. We don't do that stuff anymore. We'll watch movies and stuff occasionally. We'll go on vacations and stuff with the girls and that kind of thing. I'm imagining divorce rates are going up because of the pandemic continues. It's funny. The pandemic has definitely changed a lot of stuff. Divorce rates are going up. But another thing that's going down is domestic abuse. Or at least that's what people want you to believe. Because a lot of the times people aren't calling 911 anymore. They don't have the opportunity to call 911 when their abuser goes to work. So that's something that you also do need to be aware of, is that those kind of things are still happening out there in the world. It's just they're not getting as many calls about it to 911. So if you happen to hear or see something in somebody that you know or care for, family, something like that, keep an ear out and consider what you're going to do, what you would do if you hear something, because it is a very severe concern that people should be aware of. All right. Sound and marriage tips. Kept hush hush between pros. The channel has it all. Thanks, Ruben. Best job to have right now, divorce lawyer, probably. Imagine tiny apartment, large family, no childcare, no schools, no job. Yeah, I know. Horrible. It would be bad. I mean, there's right now, I just got one of my friends who works for the Department of Education put a picture on Facebook, and it shows that my county is contemplating. They sent out a survey saying, would you like your kids to return to school in the fall, or would you like to continue the digital learning? Well, most people are saying, I want to send my kid to school because they learn better. Well, the county just sent out an internal memo that some people copied and sent outwards that says we're contemplating keeping kids at home to do digital learning because coronavirus is starting back up, and schools are looking to start in early August. That's not pretty. That's not a good situation. Anyway, I don't think that's ever been a bad job at SoundSpeeds. Not a nice one, but I guess it pays good. Yeah, because people who get married will have prices like crazy. They'll spend a lot of money, and they'll want everything to be perfect. The perfect dress, the perfect hair, the perfect makeup and wardrobe, or the dress. They're going to have their nails done. They're going to have the Rolls Royce car rented. They're going to have the big, $10,000 facility. They're going to have all the drinks. They're going to have the best DJ, the best, photographer, the best videographer. They're going to have the Polaroid cameras on the tables. They're going to have, spend $12,000 on food, all this kind of stuff just for one night of celebration, $100,000 spent. And people will do that for a wedding. And then a divorce attorney is sitting there. So you had the money to get married, and now you've combined your incomes. Would you like to talk about divorce? Oh, you want to get divorced from this person, do you? Well, marriage, you can easily get married at a courthouse if you want to keep it cheap. Divorce? Not so much. So I'm sure they're sitting there with their hands, and wanting to just rack up the price. The perfect everything except the perfect, or at least tolerable significant other. Well, I guess it depends on the person. All right. Sitting here with the Zip Fizz, I might as well at least have it. I'm going to go ahead and pound down. I'm actually going to show you something cool. The tiniest little bit of water. Big old tube like this. Here's something that I do a lot. If I were to such a little amount of water in there now, I'll make it even smaller. You see that? There we go. Tiniest little bit. Now, what happens with Zip Fizz when it goes in? All right. Now, it doesn't really have enough water to get ultra fizzy. So if you shake it around, all it's going to turn into is bubbles. See, it's basically bubbles now. It's not even watery liquid anymore. Because it's fizzing up so much, the bubbles are basically spreading the little bit of water around to the point where it's not even spreading. You can see all the crystallized Zip Fizz right here on the back. Now, what's going to happen is if I sit here, this is what's pretty cool. Yeah, get rid of 6 more hours of Alan. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Now this thing is all fizz, all froth. Look at that. It's not even coming down anymore. So if I were to give this a few minutes and just gently shake this thing, what's going to happen is it's going to turn back into water as the bubbles die. Or it's going to turn into Zip Fizz. Hyper-saturated water, I should say. And what's funny is I'm talking about ending this stream in about 13 minutes when it hits 3 a.m. So this is going to just mean that I'll like lay down in bed and be awake. You can ask me tomorrow night in the stream that I do with Rachel. You can ask me at that time. You can say, oh, how late were you up last night, SoundSpeeds? Well, one thing I do know is that I got to do the thumbnail for tomorrow's stream, and I'll go ahead and schedule it. But I will do that, and then I'll probably go ahead and brush teeth and go to bed. So, but remember, I don't take this for the caffeine. I love Zip Fizz because of the vitamins. Now, it's still very, very bubbly. But the more I shake it, the more it will turn back into liquid. There we go. I could almost just let it sit there and let it do its thing. I'll just do that. I'll put this right down here, and we'll get to it here and again in a minute. But okay, one thing I also am going to mention is, as you saw on the screen before, the Sound Support podcast. So if you happen to have any questions that you would like to ask, don't necessarily send that to my email right now, but at least be thinking about questions, because what I'm going to be doing is starting the Sound Support podcast. I spend a lot of time responding to emails. Sometimes I've actually had to, when I've gotten so many questions, I don't want to sit there and type for 4 hours. And I don't want to turn someone away if they're in need, especially because I've actually helped launch people's career before by helping them set things up, giving them information, helping them get set up with something, with connections. I've helped people in a lot of different ways, and I like doing that. It's one of those things that makes me feel good knowing that I've helped people. But one of the things that annoys me is typing out answers. So what I've done is I decided to, and I talked about this last week and we named it, is we're going to be doing the Sound Support podcast. Sorry for the plosives. First plosive I think I've heard in a long time that was that bad. Like almost 3 hours into the stream too. But the purpose behind the Sound Support podcast is that instead of me responding to emails, I'm going to simply address them and answer them in a podcast. It's going to be just like what you're looking at right now. It's going to be video, and we're going to be talking and blah, blah, blah. I'll be answering the questions in a podcast form. So there you go. I will take email questions or audio submissions or video submissions. Absolutely. I will take them all. I got to talk to Banjo over at Podcasters and see what does he do for audio submissions. I think there's a way for people to submit audio on the website. So I might actually have to include another thing on this website that I'm not building tonight and say, and see if there's a way to ask a question, or, you know, I might do an ask a question section and do that. But yeah. So if you want to ask something, by all means, I would love to have some content straight out of the gates. And I don't know how often I'll do them. I may do them weekly if I get enough questions. I might do them monthly if nobody ever wants to ask me anything for the podcast. If somebody sends me a regular email, then I'm probably going to say, hey, can you mind if I answer this in my podcast? And to start doing that, because I do get a lot of questions, and they're not always something I want to type an answer to. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's look at the Zip Fizz now. You can see it's now starting to turn back into liquid form. So it's now still a little on the bubbly side, but it's starting to turn. Thanks. It's starting to turn a little bit more liquidy, and the longer it sits there, the more that water, the more the liquid is going to start to flow back down to the bottom. So there you go. I'm going to let it sit there a little bit more, and we're going to revisit it. Now, what I always end up doing after I end up taking a straight shot of Zip Fizz like that, like this is a tiny little bit of water just to hold the Zip Fizz together. What I always end up doing after that is adding a little bit of water to it, swishing it around so that way I don't have all that the thick Zip Fizz that's on the side. I don't have that go to waste because that is too good, too much goodness. It's red, but this is a lot of vitamins, and I like that, especially now. I mean, I have a pretty solid immune system. I almost, knock on wood. Where's some wood? Right there. I almost never get sick. And part of that is because I take a lot of things that boost my immune system. And I take a lot of vitamins and that kind of thing. So anyway, let's do this. This is going to be a nice shot to my system. I'm going to let it drain to this side. Here it comes. All right. Oh, that is a strong flavor. I love it. Ooh. So now I'll add a little bit of water. Which you can't see, but the only real purpose of that is so that way I can swish around and not waste any of this glorious Zip Fizz. See, that's a lot better to not waste the Zip Fizz. And even then, it's pretty thick. It was so thick, so hyper concentrated that just a little bit of water at the bottom is able to make it that solid, that dark. And amazingly, it's still strong. Awesome. I love me some Zip Fizz. All right. Okay, so I'll call it in a few minutes. But in the meantime, how long have we been live? We've been live 2 hours and 51 minutes and 49 seconds. According to this this thing right here. All right. Any questions or anything? You know what? I've actually reached out to Zip Fizz. I don't think they do this kind of thing, but I've told them that I've used their stuff for years and I love it. And I said, if you want to sponsor my live streams, I'll take that. I would not accept sponsorship, I don't think, from a non-sound company on my regular sound content, but for a live stream, since it's basically powered by Zip Fizz, I jokingly say, then I would certainly take that. I don't know. I don't think that they would see a motivation to, because as far as they're concerned, they're making sales. I got a whole nother thing of Zip Fizz over there just a couple of days ago. If you saw my community tab post, you'll notice that. So what do they really have to gain? I'm already giving them all the promotion that they would ever really want by talking about Zip Fizz. But anyway, so I have a couple of PJ, hey, how's it going? Bit late. You just missed my Zip Fizz. And I'm going to be calling the stream in about 7 minutes or so. I'll go, this would have been about 3 hours. Now, what I will say is that I will be back tomorrow, PJ, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm going to be interviewing, I'm not going to be with Michael Wynn and Curtis Judd and stuff like that was the other night. I'm going to be with a sound utility named Rachel, and she's a sound utility that works in the film industry. I just did a show with her, and she's going to be a lot of fun. And that's going to premiere tomorrow at 10 p.m. So in about, 19 hours? So you'll be able to see that if you come in at that time. Instead of SoundSpeeds powered by Zip Fizz, it's Alan powered by Zip Fizz. Yep, well, you know what? When I do a SoundSpeeds live stream, I am SoundSpeeds. Had to Google what Zip Fizz is. How dare you? It is such a wonderful thing. ZipFizz.com. It's got a lot of vitamins in it. It's got it's made from like natural leaves and stuff from different plants and all kinds of different things. It is amazing stuff. I love me some Zip Fizz. But we have it on sets all the time, and I've actually used Zip Fizz for probably, I mean, I started by taking, I think, emergency on set until our set medic was like, I don't, we were out of emergency, and I was like, oh man, I need an emergency. And they were telling me, well, we don't really have that, but I'll tell you what. Crafty was like, I'll tell you what, just don't say anything. I'll give you one of these. I said, what is this? And they said, it's a Zip Fizz. I'm like, what is that? Well, it's a special, it was a stash that was done only for producers, for the producers and the director. And I said, well, let me try it then. I tried it and it was wonderful. And, oh, do they only sell Zip Fizz in the United States? You know what? David, if you want some Zip Fizz, if you're willing to cover the exact costs, I'm not going to, hike it up or anything like that. I will send you some Zip Fizz. I will order some and I will turn around. And what I'll probably do, unless you want the full box and everything, what I'll probably do is I'll shrink it down. I'll take all the tubes out and put them into a big, padded envelope or something. So a way to be able to send it international cheap. I mean, if you really wanted to try it, and I could send it to you. Might be wonderful, but I believe they only sell Zip Fizz in the United States. I thought it was going to say, if you want some, bring me to New Zealand. You know what? If he wants some Zip Fizz, he can bring me to New Zealand too. As a matter of fact, if he brings me to New Zealand for a show, I will buy every single flavor for him, which there's a pack that you can get with like 13 flavors. I will buy him a couple of those packs if he wants, and I will bring them over with me and give them to David as a gift. And that would be a wonderful gift too. But there you go. So a few things real quick here before we wrap this thing up for the night is I am going to be doing, as I mentioned before, the live stream with Rachel tomorrow night. On Thursday, I have a special feature that will be going out, which is if we can get it done by Thursday. I actually had a content creator reach out to me about a month ago and say he was interested in producing a video for SoundSpeeds, taking me up on my offer that I made 2 months ago in a video. And we developed his idea. He sent it to me, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting because he does a pretty good test that I think is actually really fascinating, especially with his results. And I think that the audience, if you deal anything with cameras and recording directly to camera, I think you'll find it interesting. So he's developing the idea right now, and or he's already produced the video. He sent it to me, and I sent him back some notes, and he's going to hopefully get back to me today, and we'll be able to turn this around and get it back out there so you guys can see this video, because I think it's pretty cool. It does seem like a very American kind of food. Yeah, what can I say? But Americans are awesome. We have some awesome stuff. You better cross the pond if you're coming down here. Are you down in Australia or New Zealand, PG? I'm very interested to hear what your, where your location is. PJ Pond, you mean the ditch? Are you in Aussie? Australia? Oh, you're in Australia. You are. I remember. I remember. I wasn't paying attention one time, and I meant to say New Zealand, but I was thinking Australia. So I said to Soundspeed, I said, yeah, you're down there in Australia, and he wrote back in big caps, Australia. He was like, I mean, there's one country that every single thing in the country wants you dead. That's Australia. And then the next island over is this place where the biggest predator is like a bird that eats worms. I mean, it's really funny how you have those two islands right next to each other. One country wants you dead any way possible. The other country just wants to live in peace with you. It's kind of funny. So the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, normally the Atlantic Ocean is the pond, because that's what we refer to with people in the UK or in Europe. We would say, the other side of the pond. Tasman Sea. Where's the Tasman Sea? I'm going to have to look that one up. Tasman. Okay. Oh. It's the thing between Australia and New Zealand. I always thought that was just the Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean is above and below it, I guess. What a way to just create a name for the sea. I mean, just it's all connected, I guess. But I mean, technically, the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Indian, Arctic, and everything like that is also all one big, body of water too. So it could very easily just be anything. Tasman Sea, though, that's cool. I just learned something new. I'm just looking at it right now. That's cool. Never heard of it before, but it's a good thing to know. I don't know when I would ever use it, but it's good to know. Yeah, it is all the same water. But amazingly, when you go into different places geographically, it changes color. If, for example, you go down to Mexico, the water there is a beautiful blue, but you don't want to accidentally ingest it. New Zealand used to have the Haast's eagle, big enough to grab and capture moas. But you have nothing to fear, Alan. They're extinct now. Don't know what is our most deadly creature. A feral cat, perhaps. Probably so. Yeah, I have a friend that lives down there in New Zealand near Christchurch. In Cyprus, the water is crystal clear. Yeah. Well, you see, actually, years ago, I used to always give my friend Thomas pranks, gag gifts. And one year, I went on a cruise to Mexico. And they always say, do not drink the Mexican water. Always drink bottled water because it has amoebas and it has all kinds of, stuff in the water. You don't want to ingest it. And so I had gone to Tulum and I got a bottle of water and I finished the bottle of water with something like this. I finished the bottle and then I scrunched up, put it in my pocket, and I kept going into stores and saying, hey, can I go over and get some water out of your tap? And they're like, no. I'm like, come on, no. And then finally I got one shop that was like, no. And I was like, no, I'm not going to drink it. And they're like, why do you want it? I'm like, I'm going to take it back to America. I'm going to give it to my friend Thomas. They're like, why? I said, because Thomas is a very interesting guy and he collects weird things. I want him to collect some Mexican water. And they were just like, okay, whatever. I got some water, put it in the thing, and took it with me. And because it was a bottle of water, I was able to enter the ship with it. And they weren't going to question it, even though it was open and it was not actually regular bottled water. It was Mexican water. And I took the water to Thomas and I presented it to him. And I was so happy that I was able to get it all the way from Mexico to him. But the water in that city, I think it was Cozumel. They said it will is a very, very rough on your system water. It's not very good for you at all. Ruben, I am from Mexico, and I can say it really depends where. Definitely some places you don't want to go into it, much less ingest it. Yeah. That was, I believe, in either Playa del Carmen or it was Cozumel, and they warned us against the water. And I'm sure that there's other places in the world. I'm not just picking on Mexico, but there's many different places in the world where you don't want to drink the water. Even in America, there's like a place where there's like a pink, I remember seeing it recently, Pink Lake. There it is. Pink Lake in Western Australia. And it's like, is the Pink Lake dangerous? Well, similar to beta carotene found in carrots, but although it's perfectly safe to swim in the lake, it does not affect the skin. It's extremely unhealthy and dangerous to drink the water. I'd be scared to death of drinking in the water or drinking water and like ingesting it. But I mean, you want to talk about, it looks pretty. When you look at Pink Lake, here is the link. If you've never heard of it, right here, check this thing out. That right there will show you the Pink Lake. I remember looking at it. I saw like one of the YouTube recommendations at like 3 a.m., which is right now, by the way. It recommended that I watch something on the Pink Lake. And I was like, the Pink Lake? What's in that water? And it just is, I don't know what's in it. I don't think anyone's ever been able to fully identify it, right? The salts. Okay. Salts, maybe. But the carotenoid red pigments secreted by halobacteria and D. salina are responsible for the pink lake's oddly otherworldly colors. Same algae flourishes the Dead Sea. There you go. There's a pit of blue water somewhere that is very toxic water. So much so that it was decided to dye it black so people wouldn't go swimming in it. Don't remember where in the world. How about, let me look it up. Toxic. Let me do a search. Let me see if I can find it. Toxic lake dyed black. Oh, toxic Derbyshire. Blue Lagoon dyed black. There we go. Yikes. Toxic Blue Lagoon Lake of Buxton. Here's a picture of this. Oh, yeah, before and after. What an awesome picture. I'm going to share this. This will definitely tell you right there. There you go. That's the one. Look at that picture, though, man. Beautiful blue lake turned black, dyed black, so that way you don't want to go in it. Man. Caused skin irritation, stomach problems, fungal infections, and rashes. But that water itself was filled with wrecked cars, dead animals, excrement, and trash. And still people of all ages come and kept swimming in it. Finally, officials had enough, and in order to save people from themselves, they recently took the novel risk management approach and had to dye the lake black, according to a spokesperson and a pop-up. No thanks. The dye job may have the desired effect. There is already some anecdotal evidence that is working residents all over the place, all over the weekend. People coming up as they normally do to swim and then suddenly quickly turning around when they saw the water. I mean, that would do it, right? To sum it up, swimming in bleach is great as long as it's a pretty color. Further evidence that sometimes illogical human behavior is the toughest risk management challenge of all. No kidding. Yeah, you're right. Swimming in bleach would be pretty to have in a lake form, but you do not want to swim in it. There's purple water in a jungle somewhere, or I have been watching too much Jumanji. Well, let's do a search for that too. You said a purple water? Let's do a search. And then I'll call the stream. Purple, what was it? Purple, let's call it Lake Jungle. Oh. Yeah, buddy. Oh, that's a Photoshop picture. And that's a Minecraft image. There's another. These are not right. I was going to say that was a really awesome picture, but is this it? River and jungle photo of. Maybe this is it. All right, hold on a second. Let me see. Let me do a search. And river in a jungle. This is purple, but I don't think this is accurate. Vietnamese Serenity River in Vietnamese jungle. I don't think this is right, but I'm going to at least look and see if this would be accurate if I plug that in. No, definitely not. It's Normal Lake. I don't know. If it was just the movie Jumanji that said it, it probably isn't accurate. I don't know. That pink lake definitely is pretty cool. We have 19 viewers. Man, people are popping in here right as I'm about to end this thing. But that's all right. 18 people, 17 people, you're all leaving. I just shooed y'all off. Brilliant. I'll be back on tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, or 10 p.m. Eastern, rather, sorry, with an interview with the sound utility. There will be a sound utility on live with me. You can ask questions to her, and I do mean her. Her name is Rachel. She's going to be a lot of fun, and she definitely knows how to cut up and be silly. Didn't even say hello. Hello, Sir Osprey. Thanks for coming in, even if it was only for the last couple of minutes. But regardless, I'm going to call the stream there. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. And don't scare the lurkers. Yep, I won't scare them. Don't worry. But thank you for coming out tonight. And I will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time with the Sound Utility interview. Take care.